1, 2. I see the levels going up on the microphone, so okay, that's cool with me. I just wanted to come on before we start the show and say what up to some of the people I see in the live chat. Little Unicorn Bunny was the first to say hi. Oh man, Pro Clan is in the house. Daymoo says, what? Grochek, is that how I say that? Hello. Andrea Silva, manda salve pro Guilherme. Hope I said that right. So who is ready to watch this movie? One thing I just got to make sure that you know is that you're not going to be watching the movie on this stream. You've got to get your own copy of the movie and press play at the same time as me, and we're going to watch it together. But you've got to get your own copy of the movie. All right. Big what up and hello to Lady Phoenix in the house. Nehemiah Peters, hi. A lot of cool people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for joining. This is going to be a lot of fun. I haven't watched this movie in probably lots of years, so I'm sure there's going to be lots of surprises, lots of cool stuff I forgot about. And we are going to be getting this party going very soon. Pro Clan, don't press play yet, bro. We're going to press it together. Kat Langdon in the house. I can hear you upstairs. Lol. She's right above me. That's Mrs. Ward, in case you didn't know. Okay, everybody tell me how I sound, because I just got a message saying the audio stream's current bit rate is lower than the recommended bit rate, and it says the bit rate is 0, and I don't know what that means in terms of like what I can do to fix it. Daymoo, listen, that's a great suggestion, and we're doing it. It's already in the works. In fact, we were getting to work on it when this whole health crisis thing came down, but we're working on it. How do I sound, everybody? Somebody tell me I sound okay, and then we're basically going to be ready to go live. Okay, cool. Everybody's telling me I sound good. Oh, Yo Napper's in the house. Nice. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go over my streaming software. And I'm going to switch over to the movie party window. Boom. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. Today is Friday. It's the second week of everybody being home with this whole pandemic thing that's going down and everybody's on lockdown. But I had this idea of a really fun way that we could do something together and connect and have a little bit of fun. As a lot of you know who have been watching for a long time, I've been really excited about the idea of doing live streams and just like having a lot of cool ideas of what we can do with it. There'd be something real unique and special. And so then boom, right here we go. This idea to do a watch-along movie party is going to be a lot of fun. So for however long this whole health crisis thing lasts, I'm going to be coming on here. We'll be going on the show's Instagram in the stories throughout the week to take a vote on what movies you want to see that coming Friday. So this week we did a vote. It was Batman Returns versus Spider-Man Far From Home. Batman Returns won that vote. And then it was Thor Ragnarok and Venom. Thor Ragnarok won that vote. So when it came down to Batman Returns versus Thor Ragnarok, Batman Returns is the one that won. So stick around, because at the end of the movie, I mean, you can put your suggestions in whenever. And if I see really interesting suggestions, they'll stick. But that's when I'm going to be kind of putting the poll out there, as at the end of the movie, during the end credits, what do you want to see next week? What do you want to watch next week? And we'll vote on it on the Instagram story, and that'll be how we do it. As you can see right here, we've got a nice little timer clock so that I can press play on that and press play on the movie at the exact same time. And that means anybody who's coming in and joining us, or your internet conks out or whatever, you can sync back up with us at any time. Just can reconnect to the live stream, just put your movie up to the same point that that timer says, and catch back up with us. So this is a movie I haven't seen in a long time, but I got a lot of memories tied to it, and it'll be really fun to share some of those. Very, very sparse set because I'm not in the studio. I'm just at home in my dining room. This thing behind me was covered in a lot of just household stuff. One of which was a nice little bottle of champagne over here. But on the terms of memories, the one thing I'll show you before we get the movie started is, who knows what that right there is? That is ancient. The old 60s Batman. This was the first superhero thing before even Spider-Man. Oh no, Superman. When I was a little baby, I used to wear a cape instead of have a blanket. But then when my dad started showing me episodes of the Adam West Batman show, that's when like my love of this comic book thing and superhero thing, like I've basically just been obsessed with superhero movies since then. And in fact, it ties into this Michael Keaton business. We're about to watch Batman Returns. Well, the 1989 Batman, the first one that Michael Keaton was in, I was a kid when that came out, and just like the way that that movie was marketed, there was something about just like the Batman vibe that was in the air that to my little kid brain made it look like Batman is like the next Batman movie coming out is just like the only thing anybody cares about. That everybody's going through life just like killing time until the next Batman movie comes out. That's what everybody's just living for. You know what I'm saying? And my whole life here up to my whole career and everything is all about just like I've never been disavowed of that notion. So I got my Batman t-shirt on over here. Get out of the way of the microphone. So if you've got your copy of the movie ready to press play, I'm giving you your final warning here. I'm going to go to my browser tab window that has the timer in it, and I'm going to open up my iPad here with the movie on it. Okay, so my copy of the movie, I bought it off of Google Play Movies, so I'm watching it on an iPad. I've got the app open right now, and I'm about to press play. The timer is at 00000. So I'm going to press play, and I'm going to press start on the timer at the same time. Is everybody ready to get this movie started? Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so it took a moment just to kind of get going, but now you see the Warner Brothers shield is coming up. I don't want to show too much of the movies. I don't want to like get pinged or nothing, but the Warner Brothers shields are going. Okay, everybody caught up? Everybody got their movie going? Okay, now we're looking at the Cobblepot Mansion. Fantastic. Okay, this is going to be fun. I like this already. Just going to turn it down a little bit in my ear. Now, I'm sure everybody knows this. I don't have to tell you. The Penguin's dad here is Paul Rubens, a.k.a. Pee Wee Herman. And right off the bat, he's got the long cigarette filter and the monocle to signify this is the world of the Penguin. Now, before this movie, before the first Michael Keaton movie, like that Adam West, da-na-na-na-na-na-na, like that's what Batman was to like most people. Like comics are kind of cool and have their subculture now, and Marvel's the biggest thing going. But there was a time when like people just thought just superheroes completely were just dumb cartoon stuff for little kids, and anybody besides that was an idiot for liking them. Like that's how people thought about this stuff. And so if they made a movie, the whole reason why you made a movie of it was to like make a joke of how stupid it is. That's what this was all about, the Adam West Batman. And they did it so well because it like so perfectly reflected the tone and flavor of the comics at the time. But then the creators of the comics started taking the characters more seriously, and that slowly over like a whole generation spread out to the movies. And so by the time Michael Keaton made that first Batman movie in '89, like I can remember my dad just like trying to explain to me like that's not Batman. I'm like, no, you don't understand. That's Batman for the new generation. I'm a little kid when I'm telling this, right? And then you got this whole thing about trying to tell me like, well, you're not the moviegoers and blah blah blah. But time has moved on, and now we know what's up. So we are at this sad part where Mr. and Mrs. Cobblepot are about to throw their baby over a bridge. They're about to put the little baby in the cradle. And as a dad now, you know, I've never been a dad before when I watched this movie, but now I see that they throw the little baby overboard. But it's okay. Don't worry, folks, because as you know, spoiler alert, after the opening credits, he's going to get rescued by penguins and have a whole new life. Before we head into that, I want to pop in and check the live chat. How's everybody doing over there on the live chat? Alex Grant cosplays. I don't have it with my iPad, but I'll just follow on with you. Sounds good. Milan Shy's gotta go. Well, I love you for dropping in, bro. Damu, yeah, we're in it, dude. We're hanging out. Fancy Sponge seeing Adam West. Shadow the Savage Boss should watch Infinity War. I've thought about that, and that'd be super fun, but I mean, it's just a huge commitment. Okay, these opening credits on the movie right here. I'm such a nerd for this stuff, and that like I used to listen to the music from these movies like for fun, like all while I was a kid and everything, right? So I can actually hear the difference between the movie theme in Batman Returns versus the movie theme in the '89 one, because the '89 one I had the tape and I just played it over and over and over and over again in my room. Yeah, this movie when it came out in the theater. So when I was a Batman, when the first one came out in '89, I was like too young, like I still would have needed to go to the movies with my parents, right? So I kept on going, like my dad bugging him, like, when are we gonna go? When are we gonna go? When are we gonna go? And I wouldn't go with any of my friends because I wanted to see it with my dad. And it took my mom eventually saying to me, like, if dad hasn't taken you by now, do you think he's ever gonna? And I was like, okay, so I'll go with my friends. But for this one, for the second one, my dad took me to see it finally. And it was a nice time. I made my own hat. I remember I took like some puff paint stuff. I got a plain black hat, and I got some puff paint stuff and drew my own Batman logo on the top of the hat. It was pretty funny. Jalen Batman 9 Cool. That's actually the full name. Says y'all should do Black Panther. That would be an awesome one. Spider-Man. We're gonna do a Spider-Man movie at some point. Like even if I have to say like no voting because I just want to do a Spider-Man one, I'll do it because we're not going to go more than a few of these before we do a Spider-Man one. Beloved friend, member. Okay, I'm not out here to try to solicit tips or nothing like that during this whole health crisis thing, but I will shout out that Beloved Friend is a member, and if you want to be a member, then you can click the big join button that's there on the channel. And okay, director of photography Stefan Kazapsky, The Shadow of the Penguin Going By. Was even as a kid watching this movie, the way that they went with the whole kind of horror route with the Penguin was just like so strange, because like I wanted to see like the new school version of the classic, Adam West / comic book versions of the characters. And so kind of what's exciting now as we go into the next sort of like cycle of Batman movies is that we haven't really had a proper, authentic to the character version of a lot of these villains yet. Riddler. Jim Carrey did his thing, but that was Jim Carrey doing the Riddler. That wasn't the Riddler, right? Danny DeVito with the Penguin. It was a real unique original take on the Penguin, but that's not the Penguin from like the comics, right? When the rumor back in the day was that the second Christopher Nolan Batman, maybe the third one, the rumor was that one of those Christopher Nolan Batman movies was going to have the Penguin. It was going to be Philip Seymour Hoffman. He was going to be this like Lord of War type of international arms dealer, and I loved the idea of that. But obviously they went a different way. Okay, Gotham City, 33 years later, the Penguins have found that little baby, and they're going to raise him as their own. So I got distracted because I just remembered I got a really good one where I impressed all my classmates in school because I was able to put my hand up in film class in high school, and we were watching this old like silent film called Nosferatu. That's like the vampire movie, right? Like it's famous as like the silent film era first or maybe most iconic vampire movie, and the actor that played the vampire was called Max Schreck. So when my teacher said that, I was able to put my hand and say, "Oh, fun fact for you, ma'am. Max Schreck was also the name of the villain that Christopher Walken plays in Batman Returns." And the whole class kind of, oh, nice. So that was fun. Okay, the Gotham Ice Princess. Now that I've actually been to New York City and seen the tree in Rockefeller Center, I get this. What's funny is that I forgot that this was a Christmas movie until someone on, I think it was Twitter, wherever it was, that somebody was like, I said that this is what we're watching. Like, oh, my favorite Christmas movie. It's like, oh yeah, that's a Christmas movie. Here's Alfred carrying gifts. I was always so weirded out as a kid when the movies would come out, summer blockbuster movies would come out but take place at Christmas. And just like my kid brain just like does not compute kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Tofu fan is in the house. He is saying what's up. He's new. Well, welcome to the channel, bro. Sorry guys, I didn't see the chat wasn't scrolling. I had scrolled up to see some messages and it hasn't been updating on me. Okay. Christian Bale. You should watch the new Black Widow movie. Oh God, Tiana Rose. Dude, here's what we do with the new movies is we go to the movies with like between 24 and 36 people, right? We get a big giant group of people to go, and we go to the first night and we get 2 whole rows of seats, and it's called the Sean Ward Show Movie Party, and it's like the most fun thing that we do. I'm an easy guy to please. I guess my needs are modest. Pro Clan. I'm playing this on my PS4. Dope. Amazing. Greg or Craig, you look and sound a bit like Mark Wahlberg. Well, he's like a sex symbol. I'll take that. I'll take that. My wife is watching, so I'll say, hey, dude in the chat says I look like Mark Wahlberg. What you think about that? I'll take my shirt off. How about that? Mateo Ambris says, watch The Dark Knight Rises. That would be a fun one. Okay, so now we're seeing the first scene that Christopher Walken is actually in, and it wouldn't be many, many years later that I would learn like what kind of icon he was, and he was this big important actor. You know, when I'm seeing this movie for the first time, all I care is that it's Batman. I don't know who this is, and so I didn't know that that was a goofy wig, right? So now when I watch it now and it's so obviously a goofy wig, I kind of wonder like who kind of saw him in the makeup chair and went, yeah, okay, that looks finished. Gregor Craig makes a great point. The one part of living in Gotham City I actually appreciate, the tree lighting ceremony. Okay, here's the problem with that though, is that you know that that's going to be a huge target for all of the villains. Every year somebody's going to be trying to mess with it, and you just don't, I don't. It'd be fun to watch on TV, I bet you. Because I think the odds of the Gotham City tree lighting ceremony going off without a hitch are in the slim to none category. Because even if none of the big name villains want to get in on it, that would be a chance for like Condiment King or somebody to be on like, here's my chance, and squirt the whole town square up with ketchup and mustard. There's a comic strip I should write. There's a video we should do. That would be funny. Oh man, if anybody from the show is watching, please make a notation of that. Calendar Man messing with the tree lighting ceremony in Gotham City. Okay, if you're watching the movie with me, then you just saw Michelle Pfeiffer's introduction as Selina Kyle. She's not yet in that Catwoman costume, but we were going to see it, and it's going to be a time when we do. Gregor Craig, I'm so gutted that Philip Seymour Hoffman didn't play the Penguin. I know, that was such a good idea. The other one I liked is there was a rumor at one point that Stephen Colbert was going to be the Riddler, and I liked that a lot. He was still doing the Colbert Report at the time, and I just thought that, like, people think, why that's stupid, but he ditches the joke from the show and goes and plays the Riddler. I just thought that was just like, just like aimed right at his strengths as an actor. I thought it was going to be so good. I also think that watching Batman match up with the Riddler on screen, because here's the thing, okay, the tree lighting ceremony is happening in the movie, the mayor's giving a speech, right on. Here's the thing about the Riddler when Jim Carrey did it. The reason why I don't like it and I don't count it is because he doesn't do anything with riddles, right? There's 3 times where he lays a riddle on Batman, Robin, whoever, and then when Bruce Wayne's in the Batcave and they're all trying to figure it out, the answer to the riddle has nothing to do with it. He goes, wait a minute, there's a number in each question. What if we take those numbers and match them up to the alphabet? M-R-E, Mr. E, Mr. Enigma. Oh my God, OMG, let's go kick his ass. Like, it has nothing to do with the riddles. The answer to the riddles had zero to do with anything. So it wasn't the Riddler. It was Jim Carrey in a Riddler cosplay, doing a cross between Ace Ventura and Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber. It was fun to watch. I mean, I liked it when I was a kid, but it was not Gregor Craig. I meant Stephen Colbert, like as in the Colbert Report, as in the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Like, that was the rumor, and I loved it. It was going to be so fun. Joker versus Green Goblin says Jalen Batman 9 cool. Yeah, man. Have we done it? Yeah, we did actually. I wasn't the Joker in that one though. That Joker guy. My buddy, that Joker guy, was the Joker, and it was Melf, Jason from Melf from Florida was in town, and we got him and Joker, and we did a street prank video back in the day with those 2 guys. Yeah. The Penguin's got a stopwatch. Okay. They're wheeling out the gift. This is the part where they wheel out the big gift, and the what are they called? The gang, the circus gang, the Red Triangle Circus Gang. I think that's the name of it. Did I get it right? Is it the Red Triangle Circus Gang? Does Stephen Colbert act? Well, yeah. I mean, he's a comedian. He came up through the Second City improv scene, right? So I would think he could act. I don't know if I've seen him in movies. Okay. So the whole gimmick of these guys being this bizarre circus, and this is being the theme of their gang, it's kind of cool because, okay, people have a lot of nostalgic affection for that 1989 Batman movie, but in terms of like the look of it, because it gets a lot of praise for its like Art Deco approach, right? Oh, this skull with the bobbly eyes on the motorcycle, I've always loved. the fat clown's coming out, the ringmaster. Okay, Vincent Schiavelli, give it up for one of the acting gods, Vincent Schiavelli, dearly departed, making his appearance in Batman Returns as the guy that shoots the machine gun out of the Jack in the Box. Oh man, I don't know if I've ever caught that he smacks out Santa Claus with a sled before. Oh, that's right. Say so you're a kid, you get your popcorn, and you're sitting in the movie theater seat, and Commissioner Gordon says, "What are you waiting for? The signal." Like, yes, this is what I've been waiting for, because he didn't get the signal in the previous movie till the end of the movie. So this is the first time we've seen it actually represented at all in live action. Like in the old Batman show, you just see them looking out the window, and they would cut to like stock footage, just the one shot that they just kept recycling of the signal in the air. But the whole mechanism of Bruce Wayne and how it reflects in his house, like that was so dope. Paul Dano is playing the Riddler, says Gregor Craig. No joke, man. I'm looking so forward to that. Paul Dano is like, it's not a superhero movie, but who out there has seen that movie? What's it called? The one where Paul Dano is dude from the Beach Boys, and then it keeps cutting back and forth, and John Cusack plays him later in life. Brian Wilson. What's that movie called? And Elizabeth Banks is in it. Oh, I forget the title, but yeah, that's just one example of one of the most brilliant actors who's doing it right now. Oh man. So yeah, this circus gang thing harkens back to like the silliness of that old 60s show, while also flipping it and doing it in Tim Burton's weirdo kind of, interesting way. Now, here's the thing. These Batman movies are iconic and people love them, but they're kind of good almost despite themselves, because you hear about the making of these movies and you hear about how, Tim Burton didn't want to make a popcorn superhero movie. He wanted to make like an honest, introspective, like dark movie about what a guy who's actually driven to do this stuff would be like, right? And so when I hear stories like that, I don't understand why that's not the end of the conversation right there. Why the studio head people don't say, "Oh, okay, well, we want our movie that's there to sell action figures," and just get somebody who's willing to deliver that. But yeah, for me, this is the Batmobile. Like, if you just say, picture the Batmobile, this is the one that I think of. This is the one that I think sits at the perfect matrix of it just looking cool, but actually being functional. Because all the other ones, it goes one direction or the other. Okay, Lady Phoenix is a fun fact. Doug Jones, best known as Abe Sapien in the Hellboy movies, plays one of the clowns in the circus gang. Oh, that dude is literally everywhere. Doug Jones is, I just saw a post on Facebook about him, like how many iconic roles he's played, but he's under so much makeup that you just don't know who he is, and he's this like underappreciated guy. Okay, Selena Kyle is in the city, in the snow, Batman getting out the car. Oh, man. Okay, this was one of the most badass moves back in the day, when Batman gets out the car and they're having, I guess, does this count as their meet cute? Does this count as a meet cute where Batman sees Michelle Pfeiffer for the first time? You missed. And he pulls the thing, and here's the guy. That was, as a kid, that was like so funny. Yeah, so if you watch the 89 Batman movie compared to this, like, the first one is so kind of ramshackle. Like, it's awesome for what it was at the time, and it just being like, what we had at the time. If you wanted like a Batman movie that's more authentic to the comics that were happening at the time. But when you look at it now and you see the mistakes in it and just the areas where they had to cheap out a bit to save costs or cut corners, like it shows, and it looks really dated. Batman Returns is so much more like attention to detail on it. And I guess just because the first one's such a big hit, so they just spent on this one. But it's like so much of an evolution of that style. And I don't think that it gets the same praise that it's due, because it probably just gets lumped in with the first one. So everybody praises Anton Furst's production design and whatnot from the first one. But I think the second one deserves a lot of credit on the production design and the look of it level that the first one didn't accomplish. I think it really takes it to a new level with this one. Also, here's how big of a freaking nerd I am, is that Batman's logo on his chest in the first movie, you remember, it has 2 extra points for some reason. And it always looked stupid. I never understood why they did that. And then in this movie, they fixed it, and it looks like it looks in the comics. 3 versus 3. I'm not sure what that's in reference to. Jalen Batman. Okay. Do Mortal Kombat Joker versus Joaquin Phoenix versus Heath Ledger versus Jack Nicholson. Yeah. That'd be fun to do all of those. You should do Suicide Squad one day. That would be a good idea. That would be one we would put in the IG. We would put that up to a vote. Sentinel Security. Yes. Sentinel Security in the house. Also, Sentinel Security pointing out that Paul Reubens was, in fact, at the very beginning, Penguin's dad, Pee Wee Herman himself. They never followed up with him. I feel like they really should have done a spin-off movie about the dad, and he could reunite with his son sometime before the ends of maybe during the events of this movie. Maybe just like it's an event that happened during the timeline of this movie that just went untold. See, when they said Danny DeVito was going to be the Penguin, I thought that it was going to be like the top hat and monocle, but like, you know, they've got all of those trappings in this, but like with the whole fins and how he's a mutant and stuff, like I don't get what went into that decision. I mean, it was a bold choice. You dribble, you shoot, you hope for the best, right? Claire Carey, that's another vote for Suicide Squad. Okay, Suicide Squad I think might be one of the ones that we got to put in the mix for the vote for what movie next week. If you watch the Avengers Endgame, it would take forever. I'm talking for, yeah, because it's like a 3+ hour movie. I'd have to make sure I got like all kind of snacks set up for that one. Claire Carey, I would love to do a parody of Batman Returns. Here's my hesitation. When we did a parody of the 1989 Batman, it didn't hit. It got like no clicks. So there's a few reasons why that might be, but I can't exactly be sure. It could be that it's just way too long. My hair didn't look right. I really wish I could just go back and redo all of my shots. And then I'm not exactly sure what the problem was. Also, it was hard to get a thumbnail, so we didn't take photos. That's a big problem, actually, that I'll confess to all of you, is that when we do our videos, it's way too frequently that we just sort of like get in such a rush that we just forget to get photos. We're doing a better job of it now, but there was a time when that was a problem. So back in that era was when we did the parody of the 89 Batman, and so we didn't get any photos, and it was really hard to get a thumbnail. Anyways, yeah, long story short, as I say, I'm not sure why that movie wasn't the video wasn't a hit, but it makes me iffy about whether or not I should do a Batman Returns parody. Or maybe I got to do a Batman Returns parody and just take it over the top. Joel Nascimento, can you make more Spider-Gwen videos? Guaranteed. Yes, we can. Vicky Dobson, who played Spider-Gwen in that last video with Black Widow, where Iron Man and Black Widow got a time travel to go find Reed Richards. She knocked it out of the park. Her first video she's ever done with us, and that video is over 1 million views already in like not even 3 weeks of life. So yeah, you'll see more Spider-Gwen videos. What about Ant-Man? Yeah, we've done a few with Ant-Man. He's never been like the main star of a video, but we do have an Ant-Man helmet, and Ant-Man has been in videos. Oh, the Penguin wants to find his parents and learn his human name. So one thing I'd be curious to find out is, because here's the thing, this movie, right, has this whole plot that involves the Penguin running for mayor. There was actually a plot in the 1960s Batman show. There was an episode of the show where the Penguin ran for mayor, and so I can't help but suspect that Tim Burton, he gets hired to do the second one, everything's greenlit, he signs the contract, he gets his advance payment, and then he sits down to say, okay, well now I got to make this movie, what's it going to be? And just starts watching old episodes of the Batman show until he sees something that triggers an idea that he can run with, and then he happened to catch the one with the Joker running for mayor. If there were such documents, that's not an admission. You would have seen to it that they were shredded. Now, the Joker, the Penguin pulls these out of his bag. How long do you think it would actually take to do that? Like, I don't even have the patience to do a jigsaw puzzle. I'm confident here and now to tell you that I will never do another jigsaw puzzle in my life. If my little daughter wants to do one, like maybe I'll help her get going on it, or I'll pop in and out on it, or maybe we'll live in such a big house where we can just have a table in the basement where it just like stays there to pick at it over time. but I don't see myself ever doing another jigsaw puzzle in my life. So if I don't have the patience for a jigsaw puzzle, I don't know if I could be that guy who tapes shredded paper all together. Now, one of my favorite stories that involves this movie is about how this grotesque, inappropriate version of the Penguin being the villain, because of the success of the first one, McDonald's wanted to, because they were hesitant, right? They didn't get on board with the first movie. So McDonald's jumped on board to do the tie-in for the second movie and made toys and all this kind of stuff. And then when the movie got in theaters and parents were all like upset about how inappropriate it was and frankly gross it is in a lot of spots. And that was sort of why why Michael Keaton did not direct the third movie, was because McDonald's was very not satisfied with the results of the second movie. And like, we can't make Happy Meal toys of this. What, are you kidding me? And yeah, Keaton wanted to go way further down the horror and weirdness route. And Warner Brothers was like, no, we want our like movie that's going to sell action figures and Happy Meal toys. Can you watch the Captain Marvel movie? Erneston, I would put that in the vote. I wouldn't. It's not my favorite. There's a lot of flaws with it, or maybe you just want to hear me trash it for the whole running time. We should definitely watch Adam West Batman. That would be fun. That would be super fun. I hope people vote for that one when we put it up to the vote. Do Black Widow versus Batgirl. Yeah, that'd be dope, because Danny Klupsch she's been playing Black Widow in the last couple of videos, and she is incredible. This part, okay, so Michelle Pfeiffer's in her apartment. She's pulling down her Murphy bed. She's settling into home. And she's this, like, iconic, timeless beauty, world-class beauty type of person, because she's Michelle Pfeiffer. And this movie's doing one of these things where it's like, you know, that classic trope about how, like, you take the prettiest girl ever, put glasses on her, now she's a big nerd, and the whole Cinderella story of the moment when she takes the glasses off. It's kind of one of those with this movie. Just, like, dress her a little frumpier and put her hair up and frizzy and pretend that she's not Michelle Pfeiffer. I wonder how often Michelle Pfeiffer, like, if she's flipping channels on TV or, you know, whatever, just like is in a hotel room on a plane or something, and like Batman Returns is there. Like, how often does she watch it? Do you think she cycles through and just watches her scenes, or do you think she settles in for the whole thing? If it was me, I would just go through and look for my scenes. Joel Nascimento says he likes Batman and Robin. He knows it sucks, but he sees it as a guilty pleasure. Let me tell you a fun story about that dude. That movie was old by the time I saw it, because when it was out in the theater, it was dumb. I wanted like a real Batman. I was being a snob about it. I didn't go see it. And now we're getting up into the age, like, you know, middle school, early high school. I forget what was going on at that time, but like, I didn't go see that movie. I was in a car on my way home from a party with some friends years later, many years later. And one of them heard I'd never seen it. And right then and there, in the middle of the night, the whole car full of friends was like, you haven't seen it? Oh my God, that's it. We're watching it right now. And we just like got off the highway immediately. We were on our way to take somebody home. Like, forget it. No, we're all staying together. Got off the highway. They drove to a 24-hour video rental place. They rented Batman and Robin, and we went to his house and watched Batman and Robin in the middle of the night, like right then and there. And boy, am I glad I did. So you're right. The whole guilty pleasure thing is true. Ernesto Platero says, here's a funny one. You should watch Howard the Duck. That's one I would put into a vote, but I don't know if I'd be excited to watch it. Maybe after we've done a whole bunch of these and we're like, oh, we've done so many of our favorite movies already. What could we watch that would be interesting? Maybe that's when we bring out Howard the Duck. But that wouldn't be one of the ones that I'm like the most excited to do right off the bat. Does anyone believe that Michelle Pfeiffer would struggle to keep a boyfriend? That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Nightwing versus Daredevil. Yeah, okay. That'd be fun. We don't have a costume for either one of those guys, though. Okay, Michelle Pfeiffer's glasses. I didn't really take note of them before, but they look cool. I would wear them. If they're big, though. I need big frames. Excuse me. Okay, I'm watching intently because, spoiler alert, but this is where she's going to it's going to be Catwoman's origin story soon. Or origin moment, I guess. This whole thing is her origin story. But, it's fun to talk with people about, what's her name? Dark Knight Rises. Catwoman in Dark Knight Rises. Anne Hathaway. Because I love that suit. That movie captures a moment And so I don't know. I can't really say objectively. It's such a subjective thing because it has so much to do with like the moment, what was going on around that time. Like same thing as like the older generation that thinks Julie Newmar is like the only Catwoman for them, and maybe it represents a moment of time for them. But I just like Anne Hathaway was I say she was every bit the instant icon that Michelle Pfeiffer was. But I guess it's because hers is a little more cartoony. And also there wasn't a whole lot of like that movie was so much more about what else was going on, not so much about Catwoman's story. Robin versus Spider-Man, we do have both of those costumes, we could make that happen. Oh, and there's Max Schreck faking her out. You can't just push me out the window. Oh, and there he goes, pushed her out the window. Okay, now even as a kid, like she falls down and gets brought back to life by the cats. Even I, back then, was just like a little bit, yeah, I'm not sure about that, bud. A little bit out there. Ernesto Platero, Ghost Rider. I've never seen that one. Oh my God, I've never seen Ghost Rider. So this will be fun. Some of these times when we do these movies and I've never seen it, that'll be fun too. But for the ones that I have seen, I'll be hitting you with the facts and letting you know how they tie into my history. Because I'm here, this guy who's making these super goofy superhero YouTube videos, and that's what he's doing with his life. And it all comes from somewhere. And it's not like, a lot of channels have come and gone since I've been doing this. And you can tell the ones that are just doing it to jump on the trend, or the ones that are just doing it because they, got it in their head that there's clicks and there's, money to be made or whatever. But, yeah, I hope it shows when you watch my videos how much this stuff means to me and what an important thing all the superhero stuff has been in my life. And it's just what I've cared about. It's the only thing that's meant anything to me, like in terms of pop culture stuff, right? Your family and all that's the most important, but I'm just talking about in terms of like pop culture stuff or stuff that I enjoyed, the media that I consumed and whatnot. Just superheroes that's all I've really cared about. Who played Widow? I like that actress. Apparently she does martial arts. Yes, Joel Nascimento. Okay, so who played Black Widow was Danny Klupsch. She's at Klupshy on Instagram. Here, I'll put it in the chat for you. Danny's IG at Klupshy. So everybody can go follow Danny Klupsch on Instagram. Tell her that you were told to go follow her in the Sean Ward Show superhero movie Watchalong special. She'll get a kick out of it, I think. But yeah, she's great, and she actually does. Yeah, she's not just does martial arts; she's a like jiu-jitsu champion. And so we are extreme. And on top of that, I don't know if you follow her, you'll find out she's also like an international model who's done campaigns for the huge brands that you'll recognize. She's been the face of a bunch of different hugely famous brands. So go check out her Instagram and you'll see all that stuff. And you'll see her as Harley Quinn. So she's done Harley Quinn with us. She's done Black Widow with us. Oh, Selena Kyle, she's starting to go crazy. Oh, someone earlier said that Gregor Craig, she wasn't dead. True. Oh, Mac the Gamer, I love your videos. I gotta say what's up. I gotta say thanks for the props. I appreciate that, bro. Yo, Selena, why are you cutting up your toys? I guess, everybody's got to grow up eventually, and this is how she's growing up and getting rid of her toys. The time to put girlish things away has come, and she's going to be a woman soon. It's interesting, too, because so many female characters, they have girl on their name, but Catwoman is not Catgirl. She's Catwoman. Well, Wonder Woman. Maybe it's half and half. I don't know. I've never done the math. I've never researched it. Sean, Batman or Spider-Man? Ugh. Mac the Gamer, why you make me choose, bro? Mac the Gamer, Batman or Superman? Batman or Spider-Man? Why you put me in this like messed up situation, dude? I love them both passionately and dearly. Like those are the two characters that have meant the most to me throughout my life. Superman comes in a super, super, super close third. But Superman was my main thing when I was like little, like preschool, kindergarten age, little. Superman was my thing. Spider-Man I got into just after that because now we're starting to get a little more mature. He's like, more of a nuanced character. Batman then I got into because he's like the darkness, and it's just like, this is the thing. Superheroes aren't this family entertainment thing anymore. Superheroes are this thing for me to have that I get into. It's my thing. now. That's kind of what Batman was to me. If I sound funny at all, it's because I'm trying to keep my voice at a reasonable volume, because as a lot of you know, I'm a dad, and my baby and mom are upstairs, and if the baby's still sleeping, then the baby's sleeping, and if she's not, then mom and baby playing upstairs, and maybe even still watching this live stream. Who knows? So if anybody out there in the chat wants to let me know what this movie or any of the Batman movies, like, here's what I'm curious about. Like, at what point in your life did Batman movies become a big deal? What was the next Batman movie that was going to come out when you're at the age when you're like, okay, this is my thing. This is like, you know, this is what I'm like into. The guy who pushed Selena out the window needs to hit the swamp, if you get what I mean. Needs to hit the swamp. I'm not sure I do get what you mean, bro. Batman or Blade? I'll give that one to Batman. Are you asking me in terms of who would like win or who I like better? I'm not exactly sure. Catwoman is the best. Yes. Okay, and here she is. Our first look at Michelle Pfeiffer in the iconic look. This look that would set many a cosplayer's imagination on fire for generations to come. Okay. And we're back outside at City Hall. Daytime. The trees all busted up. The tragedy of the attack on the tree lighting ceremony. Like, what is going on with this? Pro-Clan with the fun fact. Michelle Pfeiffer played Hope Van Dyne's mom in Ant-Man and the Wasp. True. That was a fun Easter egg for all superhero fans. And it was also cool, too, because it was a Marvel movie and Batman's a DC property. And the fact that she's so tied to the DC property was kind of makes it that it's like it's all the same thing. And no, it was cool. And to the person earlier who suggested Ant-Man, I played Ant-Man in our parody version of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Okay, so when this dude takes this baby and jumps down the sewer, it never occurred to me, thank you, it never occurred to me at the time that they would like, that there's a cut there and they would swap out. So when he actually does the stunt where he goes down in the sewer, that the actor wouldn't actually be carrying a baby. That didn't occur to me. All I could think of is like, how could they risk a little baby having that dude go down the sewer thing? It never occurred to me that you just like say cut and give him a doll and get him to do it with a doll. So for years, I always thought that they put a baby in danger making this movie. Ernestin says, Spider-Man Far From Home or Homecoming? I go Homecoming. That's an easy question for me. Spider-Man Homecoming is one of my like favorite movies. Is this for me? Nice. I'm a lucky guy. My wife made muffins. Mrs. Ward made muffins, and she's giving me the last one. They need to bring Michelle Pfeiffer back to the DC universe. She should play Martha Wayne. I don't know, that's too weird, because she's already been in the DC universe playing Selena Kyle. I think she's too iconic in that role. I don't know if the audience would buy her as Martha Wayne, because it's like Batman's mom, but Batman's love interest. Like, that's just too weird. The guy was called Shrek. Oh, I should have caught that. Yep, I should have known. I should have known what you were on about. This is my Christmas. Just having the butler trim the tree behind me while I watch TV. This is one of the most relatable parts of the movie. Nicole Kidman played Chase Meridian and Mira. Yes, she did, but those are different like franchises, different worlds. Same universe. But she went and played Aquaman's mom. If Nicole Kidman would have came back and played Batman's mom, I think that would have been too weird. Gaming, Cocoa Puffs, and people ask me that question very often. How old am I? And I always tell them the same thing. I'm timeless. I was here when the sun rose at the dawn of time. And I'll be here at the end to watch the last sun go supernova. Batman Begins, made in Chicago. If that's true, I don't know that it is. I know that The Dark Knight was made in Chicago. And on one of my trips to Chicago, I added an extra day on the trip just so that I could go by myself and do a little walking tour of all of the downtown locations where they shot the movie. So I actually went down where they shot the whole thing with the chase with the truck, where they open the truck up and start shooting the Batmobile and he's on the bike and all that stuff. Like, I went walking around down there and it was cool. Like, it looks just like it looks in the movie. It's so cool. Okay, so here's the Penguins at the library, looking through old birth certificates. He's got his little feather pen. He's trying to find his parents. It's very emotional. I can't help but wonder, like, what Danny DeVito thought. Because I'm sure, okay, so he gets a call from an agent saying, hey, Danny, listen, this is your agent calling. We have an opportunity for you you're not going to believe. They're making another Batman movie, and they want you to play the Penguin. And I'm sure first thing he goes, that's how they see me, as the short fat guy? Okay, fine. Or maybe he's self-aware. What do I know? He says, okay, great. So he thinks he's going to play the Penguin. And he probably goes and he watches all the old Adam West episodes with the Penguin. He gets excited, right? And he shows up for the first meeting, the first costume fitting, or the first, like, they're going over the designs. He said, yeah, he's going to be this, like, hunchback mutant guy with fins for hands. And I'm trying to picture what Danny DeVito must be. I'm sure you're going to be like, oh, interesting. Smiling. And then secretly is just like, what did I sign up for? Okay, Jalen Batman versus Black Panther. Are you asking who would win in a fight, or who do I like better? Because those are very different questions. I will tell you this, though. When I left the Black Panther movie the first time, the first thought that I had is that Marvel had successfully flipped the script on superheroes for the whole next generation. Because I got thinking, like, at this point, who needs billionaire Bruce Wayne when you've got King T'Challa? That Black Panther was just, like, going to be so much more appealing to kids. But then again, another Batman movie is going to come out, and it's going to be a whole new take on the thing, and a whole new people are going to get into it. It's going to be dope. Gaming Cocoa Puff says rap. Oh, I do rap. Are you going to make a rap song? I am. I've made lots of rap songs. Have I got any new ones coming out? I've got an album. Needs one more song to be recorded. So this is all very bad timing with the whole pandemic thing. I've got one more song to record, and then the album is done. And that's got songs on it that it's designed so that you basically split it in half. There will be a video for all of the songs. Half of them go on to, like, the Sean Ward Show superhero channel, and the other half go on to my vlog channel because they're not specifically superhero songs. And that's I've got a whole bunch of new music videos coming out. Okay, Gregor Craig. Danny DeVito heard that he was going to play the Penguin 2 years before he was even signed up for the role, but his pal Jack Nicholson persuaded him to do it. Interesting. I never knew that, if that's true. That's crazy. Who will win? Okay, Batman versus Black Panther. I think it would be Black Panther. No. I think it would look like the Black Panther's going to win for a long time. But the whole thing about how I heard it once where they said that Batman's superpower is that he's always ready for anything. And so that's kind of the level where I get thinking about it. And I think at some point, Batman would be able to draw it out long enough to figure out a way to beat the guy, and the Batman would win. That's what I think would happen. Do you like Ant-Man 2 or the first one? The first one. The second one, more than any other Marvel movie, actually, the second one felt like they were just killing time to get us to the next episode of the show. That was the one where it most felt like an episode of the show rather than this one special thing on its own. That being said, it's my favorite fucking show, so don't worry about it. That movie's great. I love Ant-Man 2. He says, hey, oh, Ellie, the next member. Another member in the house. Yeah, Another member in the house. Yeah, if you want to see me dance, he's got to hit the join button. So Ellie said, hey ho, is that the Korean version? No, I'm watching the English version. I just found this movie poster that looked cool, and I thought it would be fun to use it as the display on the window. Oh yeah, this whole I am a man, I have a name. Like, this is all he's playing on The Elephant Man. That's a classic movie in black and white. Classic David Lynch movie. Look up him if you're an aspiring film snob. Then look up David Lynch, the Elephant Man. Oh my God, excuse me. My favorite villain in a superhero is Green Goblin from Spider-Man 1. Great portrayal. It's a shame people hated his costume because apparently it looked cartoony, but I loved his mask. Okay, Joel. The mask on its own merits looked cool. If he has to have a mask, that was a cool mask. The reason why it falls short is because Willem Dafoe, his face was so perfect for the Green Goblin, and we all would have been fine to just, have it be his real face and just, pretend that he pulls off a mask when he takes it off, right? To just, we'll go there with you. But I think because of the flavor of the movies at the time, we're going way back before there was any Marvel Cinematic Universe and superhero movies, people still had Batman and Robin ringing in their head, right? So I think the problem is that they thought the general audience wouldn't have been able to follow them with that whole thing about this mask, his face being articulate through the mask. I think that they thought that the audience wouldn't go for it. So they had to hedge their bets a little bit, and that's why they gave him that mask that doesn't have the mouth, which was a damn shame because he looked so good. Okay, Catwoman's first action scene. We got to pay our respect for this one. Takes the guy out, and then she's going to teach the woman, give her a little feminism 101 here. Yeah, it was pretty badass, but I didn't even know what that was back in the day, but now I know that it's like I've seen them, that they're like little, seamstresses wear them. Bob Kane's wife is coming up. Oh, who does she play? Oh, she's like the isn't she some kind of like reporter, like entertainment reporter? Okay, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles might come. Multiverse. Yo, I'm down with it. I'm here for it. A live action Batman meets Ninja Turtles movie like that cartoon one that just came out. I'm with it. I'll go. I'll be excited to see it. That'd be so cool. Okay, so we're having our villains. This is the part where, like in Heat, where Jack Nicholson and Robert De Niro were like sitting in the coffee shop having the showdown. The good guy and the bad guy looking each other in the eye. No, but this is different because they don't know who each other is yet. Like, obviously, Bruce Wayne is suspicious of Max Schreck and has his suspicions about him. But Max Schreck does not know that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and thus does not know that he's his adversary. Or is because Batman stopped the Triangle Circus gang. Oh no, Max Schreck's not aligned with them yet. That's the joke, the Penguins thing. Okay, it's all coming back to me now. I'm paying more attention to the live chat than I am to the movie, but it's all good. We're here to hang out. We're here to party. We're just here for your stay home, pandemic lockdown entertainment. Can you watch the Daredevil movie one day? I'll put that into a vote. Tiana Rose says, okay, I just want to say, is that another, I'm trying to see if you got a symbol there that you're a member. New member, yes, Tiana Rose, new member. New member, What are you drinking there? Oh, nothing fun. No, it's just some grapefruit pop out of the soda stream. Mac the Gamer, thanks for the shout out. Well, thank you for joining. Thanks for hanging out. Do you do 3 a.m. videos? I haven't yet. It's not to say that I couldn't. Not to say that I wouldn't. Imagine if somebody had the power to stop diseases and pandemics. Yeah, well, kind of, you could say that we all do. Because, these things, if everybody on the planet took, like, this normal precautions, then that we all have that power, right? But, different parts of the world, people live in different circumstances, and, cleanliness or hygiene or whatever, it can't be the same level of priority, or they have different ideas about that stuff, or just, I don't know, whatever, I'm just saying, like, the stuff comes from somewhere, and all we can do is our part, you know what I'm saying, where we are. And our part is wash your hands frequently, and for right now, it sounds like they're saying stay home. And so here we are, staying home, hanging out, watching Batman Returns. It's fun. But yes, I got so distracted thanking you for being a member, Tiana Rose, that I forgot to say thank you for the compliment. Your wife and baby are beautiful. Yes, they are. Love them both to death. Love that kid like crazy. Lindsay Ward, my sister Lindsay, in the house. Yeah. Oh, is that Korean on your shirt? I believe so. Don't quote me. I got this at Comic-Con. I'm not exactly sure what language that is. But I've had this shirt for 4 or 5 years at this point. No, probably longer than that. Maybe more like 8 to 10 years. It's one of my classics. John Mark Peterson asked, "How are you doing with the COVID-19?" Well, thankfully, I'm not having to worry about that. That is to say, I don't have it. If I got it right, COVID-19 is the disease, and it's a coronavirus that gives you the disease. If my understanding is correct, I don't have the disease. How am I getting through with the whole lockdown thing? Fantastic. In fact, this is maybe a good time to kind of make a point of saying this, that I'm extremely blessed. I'm a guy who used to, you ever watch Aladdin when he steals the bread to eat? Like, that was me for a long time. I used to make my own comic books, photocopy them at Staples, and go out and sell them on the street. That's how I got by, right? And then from there, we came up and built all this stuff into this business now. So the fact that I'm able to still have people watching my YouTube videos and that my business gets to stay open on that level, I'm very, very, very blessed. It wasn't always this way for me, and so I have very, very strong feelings and thoughts about what a lot of people are going through right now, and what they're going to be going through the longer this goes on. And so I'm going to be looking for ways to help as time goes on. But a lot of my charity support attention these days is split between Sick Kids Hospital here in Toronto, Sick Kids Foundation, and between Make-A-Wish. When we do Star Wars Day, that's always to benefit Make-A-Wish, and those two get my charity attention. And that's all on pause right now because everybody's focused on the crisis at hand. All right, Lindsay Ward says we are likely under this lockdown until June, July, so get comfy. I heard Easter. I don't know where I heard it. Somewhere off in the little birdie said, I don't remember where, but I heard somewhere it's gonna be all done by Easter. Robin looks like a girl. Where? In my videos, or in because she was a girl, was playing Robin for a long time in my videos. Edwin Green, I'm a member and I'm your brother. I'll take that, bro. But why don't I see the little symbol beside your name that says you're a member? Are you logged into a different account or something? Okay, this I didn't get. Okay, we're at the part in the movie where Max Schreck is down in the sewers trying to talk the Penguin into running for mayor, and he brought him a fish, and he's gonna lure him with the fish like he's actually an animal. So is he a deformed human? Even if he's a deformed human, he's got the fins that make him look like a fish. I'm sorry, make him look like a penguin. How does that make him that he's actually going to be a feral creature like that? I mean, that's just how, because he was raised by penguins. What do I know? Do you know you're never going to shout out to me? Can you tell my Twitter account? He says shut up my Twitter. I hope he means shout out my Twitter. I don't know what your Twitter is, Edwin Green. Hey, do good. You do good. I'm doing great. Okay, I have two things. Do you like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 or 2? And can we watch one? Yes. Well, first of all, which one? And second of all, tell me which one, and I'll add it to our vote. Imagine a DC versus Marvel movie, but in the final battle, they have to work together to stop Thanos and Darkseid. That'd be pretty ultimate. I don't think we're going to see that anytime soon. We're going to be old. It'll be the next generation that sees that if they ever do it. Joel has a great point. It annoys me how people compare new movie villains to Heath Ledger. I mean, he's good and respect the actor, but it's weird how iconic MCU Thanos was, but then they just put him below Heath. Well, a lot of that gets wrapped up in the affection people have, right? A lot of times it's the nostalgia talking. And so that Heath Ledger Joker came along, and he was so iconic, and he was such a symbol for a certain people who were of a certain age at that time. And it's the same thing. There's people of a certain age that will swear up and down that the 1989 Batman movie is the best. It's so good, blah blah blah. And it's not. There's a lot. It's fun. I like watching it, but it's not a great film on its own merits. Jan Hooks is the woman in this scene. She was famous at the time for being on Saturday Night Live. I'm trying to think back to if I was old enough to be allowed to stay up for Saturday Night Live yet when this movie came out. And I don't think I was, because my mom enforced a bedtime until later than we should have. I got made fun of in high school when some classmates found out I had a bedtime. I think my mom, just having 4 kids in the house, just needed to a moment's peace. It's all of you get to bed by 10:30. What are you eating there? I'm eating a muffin. Thank you, Ellie, for asking. I'm eating a muffin. Gregor Craig. Both Guardians of the Galaxy films are excellent. Yes, they are. I love them. I love the second one. Like that's the opposite problem. I shouldn't say problem. The problem that Ant-Man and the Wasp has, where it feels just like an episode of the show. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 goes the other way, where it out of all the movies, out of all the Marvel movies, feels the most like its own thing. Feels the most like it's there to like have its own emotional heft separate from the overarching Marvel story. And it's really interesting too because it's such a small, intimate story at the end of the day that's being told in this huge, gargantuan, galaxy-spanning scale. It's so interesting. Robin always looks like a girl because Robin, with her, is the name. It's a girl. Okay, well, that's how you feel about it. Oh, I wish I had some popcorn. Pro-clan eating popcorn and drinking insurance. I wish I had some popcorn. We got no snacks in the house. I would have liked to get some chips or something for the movie, but what are you going to do? Everything's closed down, and I didn't want to take the chance going to the gas station, so I'm going chipless. I would have liked to have some chips for this live stream party. I'm chipless. Do you know you're the goodness guy in the whole world? Oh, well, thank you. Edwin Green, where are you from? Because I'm getting the sense that English is like not your first language. I'd be very, very curious to find out where you're from. Ego is one of the best MCU villains so far. Yes, here's the thing, Gregor Craig, with the MCU villains. I feel like what they're doing is when people complain about how like the Marvel movie villains are lacking, I would agree that they did it in such a way that the villain isn't always the focus, and a lot of times they have a villain just be sort of like a stock villain, like Ronan in Guardians of the Galaxy, right? But he's not there to be the complex character. He's there to serve a purpose for the story while we learn about the other characters. And they set themselves up so good because they were able to take an entire fucking more than a decade to tell that story of the Marvel universe and establish all the heroes and still have so many good villains that they haven't used yet. That's very exciting. And it means that we've got a lot to look forward to with the future movies. Okay, we're now almost an hour into the movie. And aside from Batman stopping the circus gang at the beginning, this is the first time we're seeing Batman in an actual fight, almost an hour into the movie. And with that heavy ass rubber suit, it's very hard for Michael Keaton to. I mean, he does look cooler, and he looks like more like he knows what he's doing than he did in the first movie. But this suit is so impractical, and this is the challenge of making a Batman movie, is because the suit has to be iconic in its own right. It has to look enough like the comic book. It has to have it has to have the scallops on the cape. He has to have the things on his arm. The logo's got to be there. He's got to have the things in his ears. So there's all these notes that you have to hit while also having it be new and having it be its own thing. This I didn't notice until I watched it like for the millionth time. Is that Batarang thing is flying around. It's basically like an old push button, one color screen video game. It's not like he threw it like a Batarang, like it's spinning. It just flies like a drone, hits the people in the face. When the dog jumps up and clutches it, the dog doesn't jump high enough. So it went from hitting everybody in the face, and it's going to the woman's face. And then when it cuts to the dog clutching on it, it's like way below her waist. And then Batman just like watches her smirk. Okay, fine, take it. Take my technology that you can now open up and reverse engineer and figure out my shit. Like, I don't get it. But hey. Nobody said this movie was perfect, right? But now we're at one of the most iconic scenes in all of cinema history. Catwoman having broken into the store, Shrek's department store, and we're seeing her do the bullwhip where she's taking the heads off the mannequins. Here's a little personal fun fact for you. Way back in the day, when this was brand new, there was a TV special, The Making of Batman Returns. Maybe it was called something else, but whatever. That was the point. Like an hour-long primetime special about the making of this movie. And they showed the behind the scenes of that scene with the whip where she takes the head off the mannequins. Michelle Pfeiffer actually trained to be able to do that herself. And she did it in one go. Like maybe she had to try a bunch of times, but they did get it. There's no, like, they're not cutting between a bunch of takes. She did it all in one go. So she actually learned how to properly use a bullwhip to be able to make this movie, which really sells, because that maybe is one thing that's kind of missing from the Anne Hathaway version. And now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I even have to take some points off of her iconic status, because I don't recall that she ever uses the bullwhip, and that's such an iconic part of Wonder Woman's thing. what they've not been able to capture in live action yet is that in the comics, the end of her bullwhip has like the three weights. So this is what people point to when you say Batman doesn't kill. A lot of people look at this part right there where he like the dude's got the bomb and Batman throws him down the hole and he blows up and Batman just walks away. I don't look at explosions because I'm a cool guy. Ernestin says, are you excited about Doctor Strange 2? Dude, I am so excited about Doctor Strange 2. I was super excited about Doctor Strange 1 because I felt like it's the movie where they've got the biggest opportunity to just pack it full of like surprises and interesting twists because anything goes, right? There's so much less expectation on a Doctor Strange movie than there would be on a Spider-Man movie or a Captain America movie or an Iron Man movie, right? The general audience doesn't really know so much about Doctor Strange, so you can get away with so much within that. So now that they did that, and it was the whole mind mess thing going on, now with Doctor Strange 2, and that we know it's going to be the multiverse of madness, oh, I'm so excited. I saw a rumor the other day that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are going to cameo as the Spider-Men from their universes in Doctor Strange 2 so that they could set up a live-action Spider-Verse movie in the next handful of years. Like, how bonkers would that be? Like, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, the three of them together, like for the finale, they had team up and finally, oh, that'd be ridiculous. Ellie, you're watching the movie right now. Yeah, like look, it's on the screen right here where it says running time. That's how far into the movie we are. So if you want to rent the movie or get a copy of it, whatever, you can sync it up to the same point that we're at just by matching it up with the running time there. A gas station, my call's down. If you have a mask, yeah, no kidding. Edwin Green, where you from, bro? Tell me where you're from. Do you like Avengers Infinity War? Yeah, somebody else earlier suggested that we do Infinity War as one of these watch-along parties, and that would be a fun idea. Joel says that he thinks fans are a little spoiled by MCU and DCU, that other superhero movies don't get a chance, like Power Rangers. I absolutely loved it, and it's one of my favorite films, but people prefer MCU. Well, we all have our own tastes, but at the end of the day, it's a business, and they gotta go where the money is, right? But here's the thing about that Power Rangers movie. I was prepared to do one of my movie parties for Power Rangers. And so I got distracted because this is the part where Batman and Catwoman have their fight. And I was a little bit surprised that she was able to get the drop on him so easily, but she had no training. She was just sort of trained by being scratched by some feral cats in an alley. And then Batman hits her. How could you? I'm a woman. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. How do you not know she's pulling a fast one on you, Batman? Come on. Come on. So as I was saying, Joel, I was ready to go see Power Rangers back in the day. And then I looked up my local listings, and it was not in IMAX 3D. It wasn't even in IMAX. So I was thinking, oh, well, if the studio doesn't have enough faith in it to put it in that format that like all the big movies come out in, well, I guess I don't need to go see it. And so I didn't. So I still haven't seen it to this day. Ronan was pretty great. What are you doing? I'm distracting you, you turd blossom. Yeah, that was super hilarious. Has anybody who's in the chat right now ever been on the Guardians of the Galaxy ride at California Disneyland? Disney's California Adventure. Has anybody here been on that ride? Because it is super fun. Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout is the one that we're talking about. Okay, so here where she's scratching him and she's going to stick him in the side with her sewing gear. Like, all that armor is not going to protect him from a little sewing needle? I find that a dubious claim. And then just by luck, she, got punched off a building by Batman and just happened to land in a truck full of kitty litter. Ironic. Have you played Batman the Telltale series? No, I played a little bit of the Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale series, but didn't really get too far into it. The whole kind of just like watching a story unfold aspect. Like if I'm sitting down with the video game machine on and a controller in my hand, it's like I want to play the game. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever heard Ben 10? It's a decent superhero series. I've never watched it. I think it was just a little bit more aimed at kids. Like I was a little bit too old for it by the time it came on. I think it's a kids show, isn't it? Isn't that like a kids show that's recent? Okay. I think my copy of the movie is 10 or so seconds ahead of the timer. Oh, no, it's synced up. It's just a delay of what I was seeing on the stream. Okay, here comes all of the Oswald Cobblepot for mayor propaganda. And he's making this big announcement that he's running for mayor. So he saved the baby's mayor, and now he's trying to take the mayor's job. Dude, what kind of friend is that? Okay, back to the live chat, y'all. Okay, Gaming Cocoa Puff says that he's been on the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. That is super fun. Ellie, where are you from? You've never been to the USA. Aren't you from like Germany or something? And you are the hottest young person a role model could have. Inappropriate, dude. You can't run for mayor and say that kind of stuff. Well, I guess you could in the 90s, in the early 90s when this came out. But now somebody would have had that on their phone and they'd put it out and he would get called a sexist. He would get called out for that and he would be out of the running for that job. Oh, this is where Catwoman's going to meet up with him and propose that they become a team. That they team up. No bad words. Yes, from Germany. Ellie is from Germany. Dope. What time is it in Germany? Over here, we're a little over an hour into the movie. It's just after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Ernestin, my chat is unconnected. Yo, that happened to me when I was live streaming on Wednesday, dude. The live stream lost connection to the chat. I was having to go through. I was having to tether my computer to my cell phone because my internet at the studio wasn't working, and I lost connection to the chat. Edwin Green is from Michigan. I was born USA. My phone won't work. Okay, well there you go. Most politicians get away with that stuff. Well, the ones that don't, sure don't. And maybe it's a chance you just don't want to take in this day and age. Soldiers said don't go to the USA. USA is the good place in the world. It sure is. I've been to many places in the USA. I've talked. 8 p.m. in Germany, says Ellie. Nice. So this is just like, prime time evening entertainment for you. To destroy Batman will turn him into what he hates the most. So they're going to talk about teaming up and framing Batman. So they're going to try to make Batman look like a bad guy, make Oswald Cobblepot look like a good guy, and then he could waltz into the mayor's office. Ernestin, we could watch X-Men, and you could choose what one. Maybe watch Dark Phoenix, because I've never actually seen that one. Dark Phoenix, I saw Apocalypse in the theater in Florida. I was going to a Comic-Con in Florida the weekend that came out, and I didn't want to miss opening weekend, so I went to a theater in Florida, and that movie sucked. X-Men Apocalypse was trash. Pro-Clan, I was focusing on the movie. No problem, bro. I think a lot of us are focusing on the movie. I keep catching myself focusing on the movie, and then I wonder if I'm not paying attention to the chat. Sadboy155 says hello. Hello to you. Thanks for joining us. And for anybody out there who tuned in after the movie began, we are watching the 1992 Warner Brothers classic directed by Tim Burton, Batman Returns. You can see right here is the live timer to tell you how far into the movie we are if you want to fast forward through your copy and catch up with us. We're watching Batman Returns with Danny DeVito and Michelle Pfeiffer, and right now we're at the part where Danny DeVito and Michelle Pfeiffer, as the Penguin and Catwoman, are talking about teaming up to frame Batman and turn Gotham City against them. Couple of jerks, if you ask me. Don't do that to me, I'll knock you guys out. Also, Michelle Pfeiffer had to actually put that bird in her mouth when they're making the movie. That was not a special effect. She actually put the bird in her mouth. Can you imagine if they try to get her to do that like now? It's like, how do you make sure that bird is not carrying a virus? I guess they would have just called off the making of the movie. Okay, well, Oswald Cobblepot, the mayor. Is he the mayor? Has he already won the mayor, or did they not have the election yet? He doesn't actually become the mayor in this movie, does he? Okay, Edwin Green wants to watch Avengers Infinity War. I don't know if anybody has... have you guys repeated yourselves, or is that now the third suggestion to watch Avengers Infinity War? Okay, so for you guys, I will put Avengers Infinity War in the voting for next week's movie. At the end of this movie, we'll actually get all the suggestions, and I'll make a note of them. But help me remember at the end of the movie that is guaranteed. We're going to put Avengers Infinity War as one of the movies to vote on. And if they pick that one, it's going to be a long show because that movie's like 3 hours plus. Ooh, we just had a incoming boost of new viewers. So I'll say hello to all of you and welcome you to our Watchalong movie party. We're hanging out and watching Batman Returns from 1992. And right here is a little timer, so you can just get your copy, press play, and sync up with us. And you could be watching the part where Catwoman and Batman, as their alter egos, Selina Kyle and Bruce Wayne, are going for a little walk and getting to know each other. See, Max Shrek should have known something's up, that his, like, mousy, dowdy-looking assistant from before shows up to work, and she's got amnesia. She's got a new hairstyle, and she's got updated clothes, and she's wearing makeup. He should have known something was up. There was no way it was going to be anything other than trouble. That being the case. Also got to apologize to y'all that I'm having to use my MacBook camera for this live stream. It's what I got. It's what I can do, because we're just kicking it at home like anybody else in this world. Everybody's staying home. And so we're staying home watching Batman Returns, having my little drink of... grapefruit pop, because I couldn't go to the gas station to get snacks, unfortunately. Oh shoot, there's a tent at the side of the road. Oh, it's the tree lighting ceremony's going on. Oh right, they're gonna make it look like Batman does something to the woman who presses the button, Ms. Gotham or whatever. Pro-Clan. I didn't buy the movie because it's on the internet. Well, there you go. I think I'll give Avengers Infinity War a pass, says Gregor Craig. You don't like that movie, dude? You don't like that movie? You don't like Avengers Infinity War? You wouldn't hang out with us to watch it? You don't even have to put the movie on. You can just hang out with us. Okay. Edwin Green, his birthday on the 25th of March. Oh, where am I? I'm in Toronto, Canada. Not even in the city, like, near it. I'm in it. We're in the city of Toronto, in Canada, watching the movie. Catwoman is the real unsung hero of this film. Yeah, it is kind of like, it's kind of her movie, isn't it? Next Spider-Man video you make, Sean, you should bring in Silk. Yo, one of our people behind the scenes has a Silk costume, so that might be faster than you know. We definitely want to do more Spider characters, because when we do Spider characters, it does well. Like, how many of you have seen that Peter Parker versus Miles Morales video from, I'm going to guess it's about a month and a half old? That video did crazy. It was like, I think it's over 2 million. Let me see. Now you guys got me curious how many views it's at. Uh-oh. You're under order to self-isolate for 14 days. Well, I'm self-isolating right now. Okay, I'm looking at my app, my studio app, so I can look up this Miles Morales versus Peter Parker video. Is it over 2 million views? No, it's 1.7, so it's close. Roblox or Fortnite? I don't play either one of those, but I'll say Fortnite. I like Infinity War, but Endgame drags. What? Gregor Craig, what a hottie. Are you talking about Selina Kyle in the movie? Fans say Batman's rogues gallery represents bits of his life. For example, Penguin is rich like Bruce, Riddler is smart like Bruce, and Joker represents Batman's dark side. But I don't think it's accurate. I don't think that either. I think that's like one... I could see that being a way that a comic book writer, like what he reads into it as the basis for the story he tells. But that doesn't sound to me like a definitive way of looking at Batman's rogues gallery. So Michael Keaton, he ended up doing okay as Batman, but I never quite buy him as Bruce Wayne. Like, he just looks just like a regular guy. But then I guess that was part of the idea, right? Is just like that no one would expect that he's Batman. No, I think Christian Bale is where they did the best at kind of giving us a Bruce Wayne who we could buy and who we could buy would be this guy. Ooh, they're almost seeing each other's scars. Uh-oh. I don't want him to see my scars. Just tell him you burned yourself on the radiator. You don't gotta... Uh-oh. Oh, geez. Okay, so remember earlier when that dog jumped up and took the Batarang? Well, the circus gang got it, and now they've got it. They were able to use it to make Batman look like the bad guy. I told you, Batman, you should have known. That's so stupid. Batman would never let them get away with Batarang and just like, she smiles and takes it. Oh, he's going to Toronto. Erneston is going to Toronto in December. Nice. Which Batman actor is your favorite? Yeah, Christian Bale, dude. Christian Bale. Michael Keaton gives a great performance, but Adam West, Christian Bale, and Ben Affleck look more like the handsome playboy Bruce Wayne. Yes, that's true. That's very true. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. I don't buy Michael Keaton as a playboy. Like, I buy him as, like, a dark, disturbed guy, but I don't buy him as, like, the playboy who's, like, you know, that guy who's going to take the whole Russian ballerina squad on a sailboat or whatever. He was perfect as Vulture in Spider-Man Homecoming. Someone asked earlier what's my favorite between these two, Homecoming and Far From Home. And Homecoming, I love that movie so much. Watching Homecoming made me feel like I felt when I was like a kid, like a middle school aged kid. You know, I'm in that age where I'm just starting to be able to go to the movies by myself and whatnot. And it's like the pop culture that I'm consuming it's like it's starting to feel like my thing, not this thing that I'm sharing with the family. And Spider-Man Homecoming came out, and it was the first time I felt like that period of my life as a grown up. And I love that movie so much. It was just such a good Spider-Man movie. People say Bane in Dark Knight Rises had venom in his mask, which explains why he never felt pain when Batman hit him, but that's just inaccurate. I don't know. I mean, his mask obviously had something to do with how he was able to do what he was doing. Okay, Batman's on his way into the city. Selena Kyle's also on her way into the city, but her Catwoman mobile is way different than Batman's Batmobile. Okay, so they give Batman boots here in this movie, but in the first movie, here's a little tip for you. This is some deep cut trivia. In the first movie, Nike wanted to get involved and do some kind of sponsorship, and they're like, okay, but what the hell does Batman wear that would be Nike? Like, where would we fit you guys in? So they figured his shoes. Instead of wearing boots in that movie, Batman's wearing Nikes, and then like the around the rest of his leg is like a shin guard kind of idea. But if you look at some of the promo photos, if you look close, you can see the swoosh on Batman's shoes. I don't think you can see it in the movie, but you can see it in some of the promo photos for the movie. Batman wears Nikes in the first movie. Oh, dude, Pro Clan. Wonder Woman 84 got delayed. It is delayed to August. Have you seen American Psycho? Oh, dude, I've seen that movie several times. That movie is very disturbing. But when I saw it, I was at a point in my life where I'm like, you know, I know about these things. I'm into this stuff. It's very, you know, I'm disturbed, so I watch disturbed stuff. Does Tom Hardy as Bane have the best bad guy voice in any comic book film? That's a good question, Asana. It's hard to think about that. Tom Hardy's Bane, it's a great one. I don't know if anybody in the chat has a suggestion for what comic book villain in a movie has a better voice, a more iconic, better or more iconic voice than Tom Hardy as Bane. And then Joel chimes in saying he prefers Tom Hardy's Venom over Bane. That movie was more designed to be kind of fluffy entertainment, though. Like that is just supposed to be a more entertaining movie. The Dark Knight Rises is like a heavy movie, and his performance as Bane, like he was out, there was like that was true menace. Whereas Venom, it's more silly. It's easier to just lean back and enjoy it. How do I say your name? Sione Cafetolu. How do I say your first name? Sione? Because like people think my name is pronounced Cian, but it's Sean, right? And how is it? It's great. Just eating a bit of muffin and having a drink and watching Batman Returns. Oh, they've got the Ice Queen. This might be a fun movie to parody now that I'm watching it again. Edwin, you're asking if I've watched... you're trolling me asking if I watched Avengers Infinity War. Pro Clan, are you in your 30s? Dude, I told you, I'm timeless. I was here at the dawn of time to watch that first sunset at the dawn of time, and I will still be here to watch the last sun go supernova. Yeah, Heath Ledger, that's the next suggestion for the voice. Iconic. Okay, call you John. John it is. J. Is that the right way or is that the right way? Yeah, J. John, Sean. What is your favorite movie in Avengers 1, Avengers 2, Avengers Free isn't Avengers for Avengers 5 if it Avengers? To shorten that all down, my favorite Avengers movie is Avengers Endgame because it's just so like everything. But if I can't pick that one because it stands alone as its own thing, I'd say Age of Ultron. That's the one that I most like that it isn't as huge a big like crowd pleasing hit. Now, who would I play in this movie? Would I be, because I wouldn't do the Penguin, and I doubt I'd be Batman. I wouldn't be Commissioner Gordon. I think I'd have to be Max Schreck in this movie. Bobber Foot is back. Yo, Bobber Foot, what up? Welcome to the stream, bro. We've got the movie on, so you can just scrub your copy of the movie to the same point that our movie is at right here. And then you can watch the movie with us if you have this movie. It's easy to get if you don't. But yeah, who do you guys think I should play in a Batman Returns parody? I think I've got no choice. I would have to play Max Schreck. But that'd be fun. Ellie says I should be Catwoman. Ellie says I would be Catwoman. I'm not buying it. I don't think I could pull off that suit. Yeah, John, Endgame was heartbreaking. Banan Norsk YouTube 2 says, you like Iron Man. I when I first read it, I thought it said you look like Iron Man. I was about to do my dance. Like, yeah, I look like Iron Man. But you're just asking, do I like Iron Man? I love Iron Man. I play Iron Man. I wish we could have Iron Man versus Batman in the movies. But we are many, 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 many years away from ever seeing that. My ears look like elves. Ring ding ding a ling, ring ding ding a ling. Well, you know, it's Christmas time and all. If you could play in a Disney movie, would it be Han Solo or Mickey Mouse? That is a very odd question. Those are two very weird characters. I'd play Mickey Mouse. That'd be way more fun. Like Han Solo would be awesome, but Mickey Mouse would be more suited to my sensibilities. Ellie says the Catwoman outfit would be not much different than my Iron Man suit. Well, I guess I got a point, you know. The Iron Man suit is just like tights with the plastic pieces for the shoulders and chest. Gregor Craig says I would do a good Michael Keaton Batman. Well, I would have to do some push-ups between now and then if I'm going to play Batman. He wears glasses like you. Boom. What superhero do you hate? I don't think I hate any superhero. Like, that's the thing, right? Is I just like love so many heroes. It's a really tough question. I'm not sure if I hate any because I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about the ones if I hate them. I just don't think about them. Ernestin says I'm really nice because I shouted out nearly everyone that watched this live stream. Well, yo, this is what we're here to do. This is what we're here to do is to hang out and showcase all of y'all and just have some fun together. And I'm going to shout out everybody who's taking the time to hang out and spend time watching the movie with us. And you guys are the ones that are like, you know, the most loyal supporters. coming in here and doing the chat with us. It's one thing, I love it that everybody watches the videos, and the videos are so successful, not even with subscribers to the channel, but they just get clicked on like by people all over the world so much, right? But for you guys to come in and do something like hang out for like a live stream like this, when all we're doing was just like drinking, all my glass is empty, but we're just, drinking some Soda Stream and watching Batman Returns, like, this is awesome. And you guys are awesome, and that's why I want to shout all of you out. Ellie says, I don't like Aquaman. The movie or the character? If you're talking about earlier where that person said, what superhero do you hate? And Aquaman's your answer? I just don't even think I have... It's not so much that I hate Aquaman. I just don't really have a strong opinion either way about Aquaman. My brother taught my dog to play football. He created NFD, National Football Dogs. Okay. You start a YouTube channel for that. That'd be hilarious. Now, this was the least believable part of a movie that's already ridiculous. That anything to do with the Batmobile, that these clowns, literally, because they are a clown gang, that these clowns would be able to put something on the Batmobile to hack into its technology and take control of the driving of it, I call BS. Not one of these people has given me any indication that they could outsmart Batman on that level. Forget it. Let Danny be Catwoman. Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? You should do a direct message at her on Instagram and tell her that you want her to be Catwoman. That would be awesome. If you could play in an Avengers movie, what would you be? Well, I would want to be the bad guy. I would want it to be one of those movies where the bad guy is like one of the iconic ones from the comics, and he's a showstopper, and he becomes an icon in his own right, and people dress up for him as Halloween. The bad guy. That's who I want to be. They always say that you got to, in order to play a villain, you got to be a real nice person to be able to play a villain, and that's totally true in my case. I'm also very modest. Ellie says the Oswald Cobblepot from the Gotham series looks much more better than Danny DeVito. Well, he looks more like the Penguin, but I didn't like that he wasn't fat. Like, okay, fine, he's a skinny guy when he's younger, and we're seeing him when he's younger, but that's what kept me from really going whole hog, believing that was the Penguin. I did love Gotham in the first season. I watched it week to week and followed it in the first season because I loved the pitch for it, that it was like a Law and Order style cop procedural that takes place in Gotham City. But then season 2 on, they kind of just seem to go, forget it. We're just going to try to make it a Batman show as close as we can without actually having Batman in it. What supervillain do you hate the most? Ooh. That's tough because I like so much of them. Gregor Craig says that the Red Triangle Circus Gang are geniuses. Okay, even if they are, you think they're genius enough? Okay, and where did the... Okay, so the Penguin is here riding around in a model of the Batmobile that looks like one of those kiddie rides at the mall that they put $1 in and the kids, it just vibrates for the kids. When did he make that? How did he have time to make that? Who made that? Like, that's a lot of time to spend to build something that, like, ultimately does not help your mission one little bit. Oh, ProClan actually messaged Clubshy. That's hilarious. What are you, the Joker and Iron Man, etc.? Well, the Joker and Iron Man are like the two characters that I play the most on the channel. And, this was cool. When first time we saw this, and the Batmobile could, like, shed its two things and then just turn into, like, that submarine-looking thing and go down narrow alleys and let the cop cars pile up. But now everybody thinks Batman is a bad guy, and he is in a tough spot because he's Gotham's hero, and Gotham doesn't treat him like a hero anymore. This is weird, but I like watching cosplay videos of Spider-Gwen and Spider-Man, seeing as they lost each other in their universe. Seeing them together makes me happy. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll do more videos where we put them together, and then you could watch more videos because we just keep making more. So you just always have more to watch. That sound like a good deal to you? How about sounds like a good deal to me. Let's do that. Bobber Foots is making Avengers versus Harry Potter. Oh, that'd be funny. How about Doctor Strange versus Harry, and they're just like shooting their magic at each other? That'd be funny. You know what? I just thought of it. You know what? Vicky Dobson, who played Spider-Gwen, you know how Robin in the past was a girl playing Robin? We could do that with Harry Potter. We could get Vicky Dobson to tie her hair back and put a wig on her, put the glasses, the zigzag on her forehead. She's the right height. She's got a good voice. I think that would be so funny. I got to remember to take that to the studio. That would be so funny. Batman or Iron Man? Got to go Batman. I don't think that's even close. That's, for me, which one I like more, and it's also who do I think would win. I think Tony Stark would rely too much on technology. I don't think Tony Stark has the patience and endurance that it would take to win that fight. I think that patience is the key to how Batman would logically, and I was going to say realistically, but like how realistic can you call any of this shit? I think that element of patience and perseverance is what gives Batman the edge in so many of these questions when you're saying Batman versus so-and-so. Because, like I was saying earlier, there's that thing that people say about how, you know, it's not that Batman has no superpowers, it's that his superpower is that he's ready for anything, that he's always ready for anything. Do you work out? I'm going to assume that you're asking because it looks like I do, in which case I'll say, thank you. Okay, they're finding the frequency. Good for them. This is hearkening back to an ancient time when instead of internet signals sending bits of ones and zeros, strings of data through the air in ones and zeros, they had to send radio waves. Basically light that is a part of the spectrum that our eyes can't see. They would beam that and you'd pick it up with an antenna. And this is what they're doing in this ancient ass movie when it's saying, you know, searching for the frequency. Because now you'd have to like hack into their stream is how that go now. Okay, he's got his little Batman logo on his CD player. I'll go there with you. But when he does that record scratch, like even as a kid, I saw that. I was just like, whatever, bud. Whatever. And I could put on the long black wig. And hey, you know, I would just use the same wig that I got when I played Kylo Ren. I'll just wear my Kylo Ren wig and I'll be Severus Snape. If we were going to do Harry Potter, I think Severus Snape would have to be my character. Guaranteed, not even a question. I would have to be Severus Snape. If the Penguin's running around in a model of the Batmobile, so that means he's driving the Batmobile. True. But then later on, he's going to have a big, like, rubber duck, overgrown rubber duck that he drives around in. So which is it, buddy? You ride around a rubber duck? Oh, there it was. I was talking and I missed it. Where Batman's on a CD. CDs don't do that, you dope. It's easy to talk shit, but it's all in fun. These movies are awesome. We love these movies. Oh, and that's all it took for the whole city to turn them against them. Max Schreck's like, I'm out of here. You're on your own. I wish I was there the day that they shot the scene and I was one of the people throwing, like, maybe if I was like in the 4th or 5th row and they give everybody the fruit to throw, give me a big head of lettuce and let my aim be good that day. Because I would just like, I want to ping Danny DeVito. Not because I don't like Danny DeVito. I love Danny DeVito. But just like, when are you going to get an opportunity to throw vegetables at Danny DeVito? I want to bling. I want to hit him in the head in one of those ways that you actually watch like the lettuce break apart and half of it goes a different direction. I'm just talking trash, everybody. I don't want to throw lettuce at Danny DeVito. Never in my life I thought I'd ever have to be clarifying that I actually don't want to throw lettuce at Danny DeVito. Why is the Batman shirt yellow if Batman's suit is black and white? Asks ProClan. Well, a lot of people have asked that over the years, and the best answer they've ever come up with. Now, keep in mind, this is coming up with an explanation. This is coming up with a rationalization after the fact. It's not why they did it in the first place. The rationalization after the fact was that gives Batman a logo. So if Batman's hiding in the shadows and somebody spots him and he's wearing a dark suit, all they'll see is that logo and it gives people something to aim at. So if he fortifies that and people shoot at that and it's deflecting all the bullets, then they're not shooting for his head, they're not shooting for his face, they're not shooting him in other areas that aren't as well protected. That's like the after the fact rationalization reason that they've given. His superpower is that he's rich. Yes, Gregor Craig. That's right. Superpower is that he's rich. If you could be a universal character, would it be Sergeant Hank Voight or Agent M from Men in Black? I'm not exactly sure I know who Sergeant Hank Voight is, so I guess I have to say Agent M from Men in Black. How about if I be Agent S? Forget any agent that's been. I'll just be myself. Here's a crossover, okay? Since they didn't want to do that 21 Jump Street Men in Black. Have you guys heard about this? There was talk that they were going to combine franchises and have the two guys from 21 Jump Street go into the Men in Black world and be like Men in Black agents. And that this movie was going to happen. And the reason why it didn't is because the people who own the rights to both of those properties, neither one wanted half the money, because that's how they look at it. They're like, if we're gonna put the movie out and we got to split the money for the rights, because Men in Black is a franchise and 21 Jump Street's a franchise, neither party was willing to get on board with that whole idea of like, well, why would we do that? Why would we split the money when we could just make another movie in our series and keep all the money? They're not able to think of it the way you need to think about these things. Whereas like, yeah, but the movie we're talking about doesn't even exist otherwise. Like, make the movie where you get half, and then that boosts interest in the movie where you're going to get it all. That's how I think, but I don't live in Hollywood. Ellie, that looks like the rubber duck I have in my bathtub. You know what? It looks like the rubber duck that we have in our bathtub. My little baby, the 7 months old, little Izzy baby, she's got that same rubber duck in the bathtub and plays with it literally every single day. Coco Gaming Puffs. Do you have a wife? Boom. Yes, I do. I have a wife and I have a little baby upstairs. Usually I'm working from the studio, but today I'm at home because we're all having to stay home. This is the life that we're living right now, which is why I did the whole movie Watchalong party. I figured that we could all stand just something that would be fun. Oh, the sun was coming in through this window, but the sun has started to go down, and it looks like my hair is disappearing into the background. Good thing I'm wearing a bright shirt. Leave it to Michael Keaton to go to a costume party and not wear a costume. Come on, Bruce Wayne. What's wrong with you? You know what I've never understood, speaking of costumes? People who are too snobby to dress up on Halloween. Like, if you're going to work and you don't dress up on Halloween, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that it's just like you didn't have time, it's so much trouble in the morning, you don't want to wear it on public transit, shit like that, blah, blah, blah. But if you're out and about on Halloween, like in the evening time or whatever, and you're not wearing a costume, what's wrong with you? What are you even doing with your life? Okay, now Michelle Pfeiffer's coming into the party. Selena Kyle, apparently her costume is sexy lady in the 90s with her updo and her dress that's just off the shoulders. This movie will always and forever remind me. There's a TV show that I watched called Collection Intervention. It's a reality show. I don't know what channel it was on. I've never seen it since. Some channel was running a marathon of it, and I watched a bunch of them, and that's all I've ever seen of it. But the show was like where it's a relationship or whatever, somebody has a problem where their collecting has like become an obsession and it's taken over their life to an unhealthy degree. So there was an episode where a guy had a collection of Catwoman memorabilia, and it wasn't Catwoman generally, it was just the Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman. And the dude would not let his wife go into the garage because that's where his collection was. So they were talking about, doing the little interviews where the wife's like explaining that, oh, he doesn't let me go out there, I'm not allowed to see it, that's where he goes. She thinks that he's got it all done up nice like a lounge. You go in there and it's all like, this like is like man cave with all this Catwoman stuff. So part of the TV show is that the host makes the guy open up the garage and show the wife what it looks like, and he opens up the garage and it's just like packed full of boxes, just the wall down the front of the garage like this of just stuff that he's been collecting and spending the family's money on, and she's all like running away crying and stuff. And he had a lot of cool Catwoman stuff though. Gregor Craig says, we take my nephew trick-or-treating at Halloween, but it will probably be canceled this year. I don't know about that. Halloween's a long way away. We got plenty of time to get everything back to, if not normal, then like as normal enough to go out trick-or-treating. Do you like Omega Red? I don't really know a lot about him. Like, he looks cool. I've got some of his old comic books. Are you referencing Agent S from the video that Spider-Man got kicked out of the MCU? I wasn't, but we could. I'll be that guy. Who is a male? Yes. Gaming Cocoa Puffs. No, I'm a woman, says Ellie. Well, with a name like Ellie, there you go. Oh, this is where they figure out who each other is. A kiss. Mistletoe can be deadly if you eat it, but a kiss can be deadlier if you mean it. Words to live by. Oh, they both slipped up. Do you think Michael Keaton had to pluck his eyebrows to get that shape, or does he just look like that? Your movie ended. Well, hey, no problem. All you got to do is fire it back up and then fast forward to this point. This is why we put the timer on the screen there for you, so that anybody coming into this chat at any point, anybody coming into this live stream at any point can get into the movie and watch it with us. And all you got to do is fast forward to that point in the movie. And you'll be at the same point as we are. And you would have also seen the explosion happen at the costume party at Shrek's store, or his office building, wherever this is. And look who's about to come up out of the floor, out of the explosion. I think it's going to... I think it's going to be the Penguin. Let's see if I'm right. Okay, good. Max Shrek's son is still good. Oh, I was right. Guys, I called it. I was right. It's the Penguin. Oh, man. I should be writing these movies because I just know them so well. There'll be a second COVID-19 wave in the autumn. Who knows, dude? I'm not even thinking that far ahead. All we can do is take care of ourselves and our families and our communities locally. You know what I mean? Like, if there's any kind of silver lining to be, got from all of this, it's that, we're now forced to be in the situation where we have to think of other people. We have to put other people before ourselves. And, you could look at that as a silver lining. Do Spider-Man in the Jurassic Park dimension. Well, he could just go to Jurassic Park. I don't know if it is in a different dimension. But this whole idea, ever since the comics and the movies started messing around with the whole idea of the multiverse, it just opens up so many storytelling possibilities. And it means that just everything that we've been doing since forever ago with mixing up all the different characters now is like, that's what the movies do. And so we just pair up anybody and say, oh, multiverse. Doctor Doom, best comic book villain ever. I agree. That's the one. What's interesting though is that's the one villain from Marvel that I think that Marvel, like the MCU Marvel, is least suited to do the movie of. I almost think that a Doctor Doom, you need to make a movie where he's the protagonist and it's like an anti-hero story and it's about his come up and becoming Doctor Doom. I wonder if they're going to use him in the Fantastic Four movie when that finally comes around. Arctic World. Okay, we're underground. He's got Max Shrek tied up. We are coming into the finale of the movie. The final showdown is coming close. Well, yeah, Joker is the best comic book villain. That's true. Doctor Doom is one of the best. But also, they do very different things, right? Like Joker and Doctor Doom are very, very different characters. I'm just dancing to the Joker's to Penguin's little baby music. Oh, the first sons of Gotham, we will take them all into the sewers. Should Sony do the Doctor Doom movie? Well, no, they can't. Because those would have been with the Fantastic Four rights, which were at Fox. And then Disney bought Fox, so Disney got the rights back. So Disney would have no reason whatsoever to give Sony the rights to make a Doctor Doom movie. And I don't think... Doctor Doom would be more like a Warner Brothers movie. Epic, sweeping, the Nolan treatment. I think of Batman Begins when I think of what a Doctor Doom movie needs to be. It needs to be Batman Begins for like the tone of it, except it's flipped on its head because instead of being about how a guy maintains his heroic principles in the face of all this adversity, it's instead about a guy who is not that he's committed to villainy, because villains think they're the good guy. It's more that he's like, it runs parallel to Batman Begins. That's the only way I could put it. They're both about men standing strong on principle under extreme circumstances. But what is that X factor that makes one guy be a hero, another guy a villain? Where does that line get drawn? You know, that's an interesting question. Gregor Craig, top 5 Batman villains. I probably kind of do the ones you expect. Joker, Catwoman, love the Riddler. Penguin I'm so on. Catman I've always wanted to see them do more with. And then I've got an empty one now. Ooh, Dr. Hugh. No, maybe Ra's al Ghul. Yeah, probably Ra's al Ghul. There's my 5. I hope Universal buys Marvel. Well, the talk is that Apple is going to buy Disney. Like, that's a rumor that's been going around the last few weeks. That, like, Apple's the only company on the planet big enough to do it. And, yeah, that just seems weird. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Perfect vertical integration from the conception of the entertainment, the production of the entertainment, the exploitation and exhibition of the entertainment, and then the entertainment into your house. If Apple buys Disney, it's like perfect vertical integration in terms of like the corporatism of it. Bad for humanity, I think, but it'd be fascinating to see. Mr. Freeze, Two-Face, how did I forget about those guys? Yeah, Mr. Freeze would probably go in there above Ra's al Ghul. Two-Face I might put in there depending on the version. Black Mask, I guess I think of him more as a Batgirl villain, sort of like how Hordak was a He-Man action figure, but he was She-Ra's villain in the show. How you to pronounce Doom's Nation? Yeah, Latveria. Isn't that how you say it? Latveria? That's the other thing, too, is like Dr. Doom is like the inverse of Black Panther, because Black Panther's a hero that runs a country. Dr. Doom is a villain that runs a country. Now, if Dr. Doom runs Latveria, would he be like a benevolent guy where his citizens think he's a good guy? Or do you think he'd be like a despot and rule with an iron fist? Because then you'd have the entire world wanting to come in and take you down. So I guess you'd have to have it where your citizens are well taken care of and they prop you up and make you the hero. Chaos Bud Gaming doesn't think Disney would sell. But who knows? Money talks, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's what's best for the shareholders. And if the shareholders think there's money for them to make in it, it doesn't matter if Disney would sell or if they need to sell or whatever. Literally the only thing that matters in that question is if the shareholders stand to make some money. I'm not saying it's a good thing. It's just how it is. Oh, now all these penguins are out on the street. Another fascinating thing I remember seeing as a kid and watching the making of this movie was that nowadays those would all be CGI penguins, but back in the day it was a mix of real penguins with backpacks strapped to them and little robot penguins that they made to do specific things for the movie. Yeah, now they would just all be CGI penguins. Every single one of them would be. But yeah, it's so wild that like nowadays we can literally anything that they can think to want to show us. The limit is literally only your imagination, because you go into the computer and you just get the most crazy, insane, talented, brilliant computer modeling people to bring the thing to life. But back in the day, you had to physically make it in real three-dimensional space and then come up with bizarre, interesting, crazy techniques to combine, shoot this over here and shoot that over here and combine them onto one. It's like, I don't even know how anybody ever made a movie back in the day. Like, we are so spoiled now. Like, I kind of get into this whole idea that you hear people talk about how like everybody should be able to be a millionaire with the tools we have available to us based on what people have had in the past. Like, it's just so much easier and faster to get stuff done than it ever was. I mean, I haven't lived here for... I don't know. Yeah, I did. Because people ask me how old I am, and I keep saying I'm timeless. So, yeah, I have lived here forever. I've seen it all. Top 5 favorite villains in the Batman films. Well, does that include the old show? Because then Cesar Romero's Joker is my number 1. And then I might say Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. and then I'd say Catwoman: The Dark Knight Rises, and then I'd say Catwoman and Batman Returns, and then I'd say Jack Nicholson Joker. Where did I get this mic? This is nothing fancy. This is just a blue Yeti microphone you can get on Amazon or whatever. It's very common. It looks pretty. It looks nice, but it's not hard. It's not expensive either. It was a couple $100 or something. It's not like a super high quality fancy mic. It's just a USB mic to make the audio be better than it would be if I was recording with the built-in mic on my computer. So Batman is on the case. He's following the Penguins. Oh, the crime gang is all running away from the Joker. I keep calling him the Joker. From the Penguin. Everybody's leaving him. Interesting, though, that he spent all these years underground. He's got no internet, right? Nobody's got internet yet. The internet didn't exist. Well, it did, but it wasn't it was a military thing back then. So nobody at home has the internet yet. So where did he learn all about this, like how to build a TV studio in this abandoned zoo ice exhibit? Actually, you know what? Who I left out? Gregor Craig is the Riddler from the 1966 Batman show. Frank Gorshin. I can't even do the laugh. The Frank Gorshin Riddler is that might be one of the best, compared to what when you're looking at it to what the characters were in the comics at the time. That Riddler might be the best that they've ever come in terms of how accurate to the comics it was. All of those characters from the 66 Batman show, they did a great job with. But the Riddler might be the best one in terms of bringing to life that character from the comics. Perfect one-to-one representation. Oh, it looks like we've got about 15 minutes left in the movie, folks. We are coming in for a landing on this one. You see Danny DeVito's makeup. He's had it on for a while, and it's all starting to look weird above his eyes. Oh, Batman turned the Penguin. See, technology. See, they messed with Batman's technology when they took over the Batmobile. Now he's messing with their technology with the Penguins. Great job, Batman. Unreal. I think Burgess Meredith is still one of the best Batman media performances. I agree 1,000%. No one... This is what I was saying earlier in the movie, is that the Danny DeVito version of the Penguin is this completely other thing. This is not the Penguin from the comics or any cartoon or anything. Since the 66 Batman, there are so many iconic Batman villains that we just haven't seen a live-action representation of. Because, like I said before, Jim Carrey's Riddler isn't the Riddler. He's Jim Carrey in a Riddler costume. He's Jim Carrey cosplaying as the Riddler. Tommy Lee Jones' Two-Face, okay, but then we got the good Two-Face in The Dark Knight. But we haven't had a good Riddler. We haven't had a good Penguin. As much as I loved Anne Hathaway as Catwoman, and she was a good Catwoman, it wasn't, that Batman movie that I would want to see where Catwoman's the villain. Right? That movie was like a war movie that happened to take place in Gotham City. I like that movie a lot, actually. A lot of people talk poop about it. Ali Playtube, hi. Hi. Thanks for joining. Thanks for coming in. We're getting late into the movie, but anybody who joined us late, it's why this is here. The running time. We've got a timer going so you can see how far into the movie we are. If you want to press play, scrub through your copy, and join us at the same point in the movie. I can't show it to you for copyright reasons, obviously, but we can watch it together. And so what we're going to be doing is every week, for as long as this pandemic thing lasts, I'm going to come on here and do a live stream every week and watch a different movie with y'all. And if you want to have a say in what movie it is that we're going to watch, make sure that you follow the Sean Ward Show on Instagram, because we're going to be doing a vote in the stories. And this time the vote was, there was 2 rounds, and this we'll do it how we'll do it every week. Round 1, there was 2 different decisions. You had to choose between Batman Returns or Spider-Man Far From Home, and you guys chose Batman Returns. And then it was Thor Ragnarok or Venom? Yeah, and you guys chose Thor Ragnarok, and then between Batman Returns and Thor Ragnarok, you chose Batman Returns. So when this movie is over, we're going to start taking suggestions for what the movies are going to be next week. And we'll watch it together as well. And hell, maybe all goes well and we'll be this will be a show for the long term. How many weekly episodes of this do you think we would do before we ran out of movies? Like, there's so many superhero movies to watch. How far into it would it be before we're like, I don't know, I gotta get old episodes of like the 1950s Batman, the 50s Superman TV show. Like, how far into it are we when we're having to like watch Superman 3 with the artificial kryptonite, with the synthetic kryptonite that makes him drunk? Oh man. Banan Norse YouTube says, like to the Sean Ward Show. Like you, bro. Thank you very, very, very much. Ernestin, are you leaving now? No, I'm not leaving now. The fucking movie's not done, dude. I gotta watch the movie. Do you actually know the mobile game DC Legends? I don't. But if there's a mobile game called DC Legends, that sounds like something I need to get on. Do you think they should bring Shrek into the comics? Like Max Shrek? I don't see any reason to. He's not that great a character. He sort of is just a stock character that they stuck in here to serve a purpose for the plot. Oh, we missed it. He pulled the mask off, and I wasn't able to bring attention to that point where he's got the black makeup on, and he turns away, pulls the makeup off, and when he turns back, the black makeup's gone from his eyes. Somebody gets fired in every Batman movie, because here, Max Schreck just told Selena Kyle she's fired, and then in the next movie, Jim Carrey as the Riddler tells that guy, you know you are fired, or should I say, terminated. Ernestin, you got 65 likes and I think up to over 100 views. Yeah, well, I mean, concurrent viewers, we've got up near 100. We got up over 100 a couple of times through this broadcast. I'll be excited to see the total number of people that popped in over the course of the thing. How many total people? Because if there's like 60 to 100 at a time, but people are coming and going throughout the whole thing. So it'll be fun to see in a 2-hour plus stream how many people turned in. Okay, Joel says, Kevin Conroy is said to be the Batman, but honestly, I find him monotone. See, my problem is not that he's monotone, a little boring. It's a good Batman performance, but I don't think that he qualifies. If we're talking about who was the best Batman, it's cheating to say that he counts, because all he has to embody is the voice, right? Kevin Conroy never had to wear that heavy, uncomfortable, restrictive suit for 10 to 14 hours at a time. You know what I'm saying? So it's totally not fair. It's totally a cheat to allow Kevin Conroy in that question. You can say that the animated Batman is your favorite screen Batman. That's valid. But you can't say that Kevin Conroy was the best Batman, because he never had to be Batman. He only had to sound like Batman. Adam West should get credit just because his suit, right? So superheroes are not cool yet when they made this movie. Superheroes were literally just like stupid stuff that people remember from when they were kids. And that's literally why they made the show. To be able to have it be a joke of like, haha, remember how silly this stuff was when we watched it as kids? That's what this show was about. So to make him have to wear that suit, he deserves some credit. To say nothing of what they made Robin wear with his little briefs, his little trunks. Banan says you got 4.39 million subs. That's true. That's true. We got so many subs. We actually have one of the most subscribed to and most watched channels in the genre on the whole YouTube platform, and it's very exciting, and I feel very blessed for that. And it's interesting because I'll be very, very honest and candid with you right now. A lot of the success of the channel is our videos being served to people as suggested videos, and then they click it and then they watch it, and that all adds up. And a lot of people have clicked subscribe. But I guess because of the nature of the videos we make, and we just don't have the experience with the live streaming, our live streams don't get like huge audiences. But that's so far. That's just because we haven't really been doing it long. We've just been running a few experiments. But maybe if you guys all spread the word, maybe next week we have twice as many people for the next movie, and then the week after that we have twice as many for that movie, and this could be a lot of fun. This could be a big thing. Now this part is utterly ridiculous. So these penguins now have human emotions, and they're going to come out and they're going to, with their fins, with their flippers, they don't have hands, but they're somehow going to carry Danny DeVito as the penguin into the water like a burial at sea because they're so sad that their master's gone. I love Batman. I love superheroes. I even love this movie. But you love it in spite of how just like ridiculous it is. That's probably the thing I like about this movie the least, is how silly it is. Because if it was trying to be silly and it was happy to be silly, that'd be one thing. But it's like trying to be dark and serious and this tone, and then it's like, okay, and then the penguins are gonna like give Danny DeVito a burial at sea. What are you even talking about? Poor penguin, he was never given a chance. Oh no, they gave him a chance. Remember, he was running for mayor. He got a chance. He blew his chance. He was an asshole. He was a son of a bitch. Can you make a Diana Alexieva says, can you make a Batman and Robin? I guess you're talking about a parody video of Batman and Robin. And that would be fun. That would be a lot of work, though, because we would have to make the Mr. Freeze costume, and that'd be insane. Because I don't know how we would do it without lighting up the face. And then we got to get a Poison Ivy costume, which is a lot easier. But then we need the Bane costume, and that Bane costume is like the ridiculous one, like from the comics. Or maybe we get a Bane mask from The Dark Knight Rises and like get Bane from Batman and Robin to wear the mask of Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. That could be funny. We're just brainstorming here. We're just spitballing, as they say. I hope my snapping didn't blow out the microphone. Yeah, it peaked. I should turn the audio down slightly. Now that we're almost finished, I'm going to turn the audio down slightly. But, okay, so Bruce Wayne went down the alley to get the cat. And we're almost at the moment that first, for me, I felt like they were hinting at a cinematic universe. Let's do some arithmetic. 2008. How many years? Okay, 2008. 1998 was 10 years. 1992, 16 years. Okay, so 16 years before the Marvel put out Iron Man, the first Iron Man movie, Batman Returns has this part that's coming up where Catwoman pops up at the end and like hints that there might be a spin-off Catwoman movie. And then for years the talk kept going to be, is there going to be a Catwoman movie? Is Michelle Pfeiffer going to do it? And then when they finally did it, it wasn't Michelle Pfeiffer. Okay, fine. Sometimes they got to recast roles. Maybe Michelle Pfeiffer's doing other things. Schedule's not going to work out. They think she's too old now. Whatever, right? Okay. But then you see what it was. And it's got nothing to do with this. It's not this Catwoman at all. It's like, well, why'd you even bother? There she is. I'm sure I don't need to tell all of you that that's not Michelle Pfeiffer that comes up at the end. They had the idea for that. They'd already finished making the movie. And then they felt like they needed that shot for the end of the movie. So they just got some other actress. Just, hey, you, can you throw the costume on and get in front of the camera? It's some other actress who just put the hood on and did the shot. Yeah. This was the hint. This felt like it was going to be a hint that they were going to make a Catwoman movie, and now we're getting into the whole idea of a shared cinematic universe. Then Batman Forever comes out, which is the part 3 of this, is the next one, and you'll recall that Val Kilmer as Batman says to Robin at one point that the circus must be halfway to Metropolis by now. Oh my God, are they going to do a Superman movie and it all takes place in the same universe? Because here's the thing, folks. I've said this a million times. Warner Brothers' big problem with the fact that they own DC is that the movie people keep getting in the way of the movies being as good as they can be. Because Marvel, the whole thing with Marvel's success is that Marvel said, we're going to stop licensing our characters to movie companies and we're just going to make the movies our damn selves because we know the characters the best. That was the success of Marvel Studios. DC's never had that chance because it's still Warner Brothers Pictures. It's all the same giant corporate umbrella, but they're different companies within the corporate underneath the corporate umbrella. So Warner Brothers Pictures is still licensing the DC characters from DC Comics and making it separate from DC Comics. And that means that you get movie people who like, okay, comic book logic, whatever, that's nerd shit. We know what movie audiences want. And then they keep being wrong. So just let the comic book people make the movies or hire the right people to make the movies, whatever. I'm just saying. What I'm getting at is that Warner Brothers had a 40-year head start. If they wanted to do the Marvel thing, they could have done it a generation earlier. They could have made a Batman movie in the 70s that tied into the Christopher Reeve Superman movie, because Warner Brothers bought DC Comics in the 1970s, before any of us were even born. And they could have been doing this for years. Okay, movie's over. This has been super fun. And before we go, like I said, y'all give me your suggestions in the live chat on the stream and let me know what movies we should vote on next week. And we will see you here for the next movie. So before we kill the stream, I'll just give you guys an opportunity to make some suggestions. We've heard movies like Avengers Infinity War, Batman and Robin. I don't know if I want to put Batman and Robin next, because you guys are nuts enough that you'll vote for it, and then I'll have to watch these two old Batman movies in a row. I'll watch another old Batman movie, but I'd like to watch something else first. Maybe something Marvel, something a little newer, something a little brighter. I don't know what, but give me your suggestions for movies to watch. And you guys you are not a YouTuber. I'm not. Could have fooled me, Breland. What am I then? I think 4 million plus subscribers says otherwise. Good work, Sean. I just have one request: a Batman Returns parody. Well, tell you what, bro. Let's put that in for 2020. That over the course of this year, we'll do the Batman Returns. Sometime this year, we'll do the Batman Returns parody. But if it doesn't work, I'm going to hold you guys all responsible. If people don't click on it, I'll blame you guys. Thor. Which Thor? Ragnarok, the first one. I'm not even going to pretend that I'm going to let us vote on Thor the Dark World. That one is out of here. Okay. All right, the credits are going up the screen, and we are letting y'all make suggestions for the next movie to watch. Oh, yes, Suicide Squad. Okay, I'm going to make notes. I'm going to make notes on my phone right now for what the next, because those are two good ones. So two good suggestions. You know what? I also might put, you guys. Do you guys think that I should put Birds of Prey in the votes? Because it's out on digital now, but the only way you can get it officially is to buy it. Green Lantern's another good one. I'll put next week movies, and I'll put Avengers Infinity War, Suicide Squad, Green Lantern, which I've never seen, by the way, so I would be watching it for the first time. GOTG, or 1 or 2, and then Breland, I subscribe to your channel. What up? Well, Joker here, Banan. Joker. I don't want to do Joker for one of these movie parties, because that movie's like so disturbing and violent, and a lot of like younger people watch my channel, so I kind of want to keep something that's a little bit more all ages appropriate. The Mask. Oh, that's a good suggestion, bro. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Ali Playtube says, "Are you making another Spider-Man parodies all day?" Into the Spider-Verse. You know what? I was going to put Into the Spider-Verse as one of the ones we voted on for this week, but I watched it very, very recently. Batman. I think I'm going to hold off on suggesting Batman movies next week. The movie's over now, so this timer doesn't need to keep going. It can just stop. There we go. Go back to the live chat over here. Where's the live chat? I'm in the wrong window. Whoopsie. Where's my live chat? Okay, it's over here. Are you making another Spider-Man parody? You make all kinds of Spider-Man parodies. As I was saying, yes, Spider-Verse. I didn't put it in the suggestions for this week because I just watched it. And I wanted to put a couple in there that I hadn't watched in as long a time. But that would be a good one for us to watch together. Batman Begins or Batman and Robin. Those movies do very, very different things. So what I might do is I'll put Batman Begins in maybe a week or two down the line, and then we'll come back around to Batman and Robin when we feel like we could use the jokes. Gregor Craig says, no, Green Lantern is terrible. You'll hate it. Not even good in a so bad as good. Really? It's not even good in a so bad as good way? That's unfortunate to hear. I thought that it would just be like fun to put it on and just trash it together. But I guess you're telling me that that's not a thing. Okay. Batman Begins or Batman and Robin. Okay, so let's say we got enough suggestions there. So the suggestions that we have for movies to... Oh, Ellie says Doctor Strange. I'll add that to this list as well. And then I'll just check them off the list as we go. Okay, so 4 of these will get voted on next week. We'll do the same thing, where one day there's 2 questions, and then the next day it's the 2 winning. They do 2 different polls, and then the winners from the 2 polls go at each other the next day, and that's how we decide what to watch. So it'll be 4 from this list: Avengers Infinity War, Suicide Squad, Green Lantern, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 or 2, The Mask, Into the Spider-Verse, Batman Begins, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange, I'm not sure, lends itself to this party vibe that we got going on here. I watched that recently. My wife actually didn't like it. She didn't even finish it. She thought it was just way too slow. Oh, Greg, trash Green Lantern. Yeah, I don't expect to like it. I kind of feel like I need to see it just to know that I've seen it, and that it'd be an attraction in its own right, to watch me see it for the first time and watch me be confused by it. Avengers 1, also a good suggestion, because I haven't watched that one in a long time. So Avengers Infinity War, Suicide Squad. I feel like those 2 against each other in round 1 would be a hoot. Green Lantern, I would put in there for the sake of the fact I've never seen it. The Mask, kind of would like to put it in there. Maybe it'll be like The Mask versus Into the Spider-Verse, and then Avengers Infinity War versus Suicide Squad. I want to get Batman Begins in there, but I also don't want to do 2 Batman movies in a row. Whatever, we'll figure it out. That's the suggestion for next time. Huge big thanks to all of you who have joined us in the live chat today. This is the first time that we've done this, and I feel like we're onto something. I feel like this could be a lot of fun on an ongoing basis. Is the sound gone? I don't know. You tell me. Is the sound gone? I hope not. On my end, my audio bar is still filled up. You guys let me know who's watching. Is my audio sound good? Ellie says the sound is gone. Sound from the movie's gone, but I had it in my earpiece the whole time anyway. Kick-Ass is good, but again, that's another one that's like rated R, and I think we got to keep it a little more PG-13 for the family audience. Venom, even though was that movie R? Or was it PG-13? Venom, I put it in. Venom, I wanted to watch, Joel. I put Venom in, but Thor Ragnarok beat it in round 1 of the voting. But maybe I'll just put it in every week until somebody finally votes for it, because I actually want to watch it again. Greg says he can hear me. Okay, great. That's all I needed to know. Okay, friends. Well, Batman and Robin. No, sorry. Why did I say that? Batman Returns. 3rd time's the charm. Batman Returns was the movie. This was a lot of fun, and I hope it's something that we can do every week. Also on Wednesdays, I'm starting to do a live stream on Wednesdays as well. And Wednesdays is the director's commentary edition, where I take videos that you want, videos from this channel that you want to know more about. And then we'll watch those videos, and I'll tell you about the making of those videos while we watch them. And that's more where we'll talk about YouTube and my channel. That's the live stream that's going to be more specifically about the channel. And then the Friday movie party live stream is going to be more about these movies that we love, superhero movies. So look forward to the next one. We'll see you in a week. Make sure that you follow the show, the.sean.ward.show on Instagram for your chance to vote. And I'll say it one more time. Thank you all for joining and hanging out and watching the movie with me. This was super fun. I can't wait to do it again. Love to you all. And we'll see you on Instagram for the votes for the next movie. Bye.